been a long time coming. They ain't cuffing my cloth, they tugging it. Putting up numbers, 99 problems, and I still kept it 100. Yeah, it's been a long time coming. They ain't cuffing my cloth, they tugging it. Putting up numbers, 99 problems, and I still kept it 100. Yeah, who don't play, 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 play. Who don't
Music licensing reimagined.
Play, who don't play, 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 play. Who don't play, play, play. Who don't? Long time coming, black on the bottom of my feet from running. Cataracts under my eyes from hustling. Going from buying and selling to customers. Run up the business, God is my witness. Turn up the sun up from Monday to Sunday. We maxing the limits. My mind running like Tom Cruise on an action movie. Moving the mission, they say that I'm tripping. I've been told I need a vacation. I'm finessing the visit.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to DFS by the Numbers, and welcome to Stat Diggers for UFC Vegas 117. We have Arnold Allen going against Costa, and we are back into the meta Apex. And I don't know, Weezy. Like, typically, I like these cards because I typically do very well in these Apex cards. But last Apex card, like I said, it was probably one of the worst cards of my entire life. Not in terms of units lost, but we had, I think, 11 decisions in the Apex. I'm hoping we get back to our finishing ways, but I'm picking a lot of decisions this week, actually. I think there's a lot of durable fighters on this card, so we'll see. It should be fun. It should be a fun time. We are here an hour early. We did want to show up extra early for you guys because you guys always say we're late, so we're here early, so in your guys' face. But what's up, Weezy? Are you looking forward to UFC Vegas 117?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the break that comes after UFC Vegas 117. This is not the kind of card that like you want to really kind of jump neck deep into 1 week, before a break and 13 weeks after your last break. So this is greasy. I've only got one bet so far. I've got two bets, but they're both on the same fight. And I still got a little bit more research to do, but yeah, I mean, it's a lower level card. There should be some fun fights, though, on this card. I think the matchmakers did a decent job as far as getting some really good fights in the Apex. Like the co-main event, Duho Choy versus Daniel Willie Catch Santos is amazing. That's a hell of a fight. And I'm interested to see how Costa, after this 6-fight win streak, handles this step up in competition, 5-round fight against an established top 5 veteran in Arnold Allen. So a couple good fights up at the top of the card. I think Cavalcanti versus Vieira is an interesting stylistic matchup. Bukovksas versus Bato should be a fun fight. And then we've got a couple of really high level women's fights here with Nicole Caliari versus Shauna Bannon. And then obviously we got Alice Ardolene versus a former Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu world champion in Poliana, Viana. We got some high level fights here, Brady. Why is that funny? Why that is not funny? These ladies are trying the best they can, Brady. No,
you're right. It was just hard to tell. I couldn't tell if you were serious when you're like Modestus Bukovksas because it's gonna be in a fun fight.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be because it's Rodolfo Bato. Brings pressure. He brings fun fights. It's like throwing William Gomez in there with a real marauder. It's like Gomez versus Emil. You're going to give Bukovksas somebody who's going to make him fight with a little more urgency than we're used to seeing him fight.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. All right. Anyway, we're going to get into the chat real quick before we do. So let's shout out our sponsors, the reason that we are here breaking down this ass card. We got two of them. The first one is going to be Big Steve, and he actually gave us a $20 dono. And he said, Donald Strickland supremacy. Big ups to Big Steve. Big ups to Sean Strickland, man. Sean Strickland went out there and got it done. Got taken down multiple times in the first round, weathered the early storm. And then rounds 2, 3, 4, 5, Hamzat didn't really wrestle much. And Sean really just out-jabbed him to the victory. That was people were saying that fight sucked. I don't know what they were watching. Me and you were enjoying it, weren't we?
Yeah, man. Sean really stuffed a lot of the wrestling in round 1. I mean, he looked phenomenal in round 2. Almost got Hamzat out of there, it looked like, for a little bit. Hamzat was gassing out, having all kinds of problems. And then Hamzat came back. I mean, I thought it was back and forth, and I went into the went into the decision thinking I don't even know who won the fight. I thought maybe Sean, but I thought you could have given it to Hamzat as well. I thought it was competitive. I thought it was compelling to see somebody actually winning rounds against Khamzat Chimaev. We don't really get to see that ever.
It's crazy, man. I mean, Sean Strickland did it. He did it against Adesanya. He did it against Fluffy. And then he did it against Chimaev, all as really big underdogs. So that's really
Amazing.
cool to see. But let's shout out the sponsor here. The first one is going to be the Big Brain MMA Discord. Big ups to the Big Brain MMA Discord, and big ups to Big Steve. Has a bunch of sharps in there that are giving their plays out each and every week, betting on all kinds of MMA promotions. And there's a ton of MMA going down this week as well. I was checking Tapology. They got a lot of stuff going on. And he did want to shout out one of the sharps in there. His name is One Time. One Time I win 5 units in 328, 3 units at Perth, 7 units on the last Apex card. That card I got rinsed on. And he's up 105 units in 2026. And it's been a tough year for a lot of guys out there. So big ups to One Time and big ups to Big Steve. And then also check out the Big Brain MMA podcast on YouTube. I also link that down in the description below. Big Steve gives an early look into the fights and then like a final look later into the week. So he did get his early look video out, I think yesterday. I still got to check it out. And then he'll be doing a final look later this week. So big shout out to Big Steve. And then big shout out to our other sponsor. That's going to be Underdog Fantasy. Right now, if you go to Underdog Fantasy and use code DFSBTN, you'll get $50 in bonus funds when you play with your first $5 lineup using code DFSBTN. And then like they've been giving boost out lately. I think they had like a 40% boost or something for UFC 328. Check out Underdog. Check out Big Steve. All right. Should we hit the chat first or do a quick recap first? What should we do?
Let's do a quick recap first.
All right, let's be quick. This is going to be like one of the shorter shows of the year, guys. Because I just can't. I literally just can't. So Weezy, I'm on a 2-fight card winning streak. Went up about a unit last week and went up about a half, or it went up a half unit last week. So yeah, up about a unit and a half these last 2 weeks. But man, I mean, it could have been so much better. Last week, I was a Brando Pericic KO1 away from like a 6-unit night. And then I had some bad beats over the freaking weekend. The first bad beat was in the Sean Brady fight. Not going to get into all the line movement and whatnot, but I had the fight doesn't go to decision at -125. And I was pretty much already counting my money with all the line movement and stuff. And they wouldn't even open up props the entire night, all the way up until the fight. No props were opened up. And if they did open up props, Weezy, you would not be able to get the fight doesn't go to decision anywhere near -125. And then that morning, I also sprinkled Sean Brady sub to sub 3. And Sean Brady goes out there and proceeds to absolutely rinse Joaquin Buckley on the mat, get over 12 minutes of control time. And he spent well over half of the fight in full mount. And somehow, some way, that fight goes the distance. I mean, if Brady subs Buckley late in that fight, it's looking like a 6 or 7 unit night for me. So that stung. The other thing that stung was Gaudier. I had Gaudier KO1, KOs him in the first minute of round 2. I mean, he easily could have done that in round 1. It's so annoying. I'm done betting on Gaudier KO1 props. I'm done betting on Gaudier unders. This guy is very, very patient. But the highlight of the night was Grant Dawson round 3 at plus 1,600. Grant Dawson, late props, Weezy, have made me a fortune these last several years. I mean, he has, I think, 5 or 6 third-round finishes, multiple second-round finishes as well. And I got the Dawson round 3 at plus 1,600. Also got the fight doesn't go to decision at plus 100 for that fight. But I'll be honest, the fight did not play out how I expected one bit. Grant Dawson wanted to test out his newfound striking for the first 12 and a half minutes for some reason. I was literally yelling on the fight companion, saying some unspeakable things, calling Grant Dawson names. And then finally, in a scramble, he gets the fight down to the ground and proceeds to choke out Rambexky with, I think, about 20 seconds left and pretty much saving my night because that was a huge hit. I think went up almost like 5 units on that fight alone. So that was big. But yeah, definitely had some losses. There was like 6 submissions over the weekend, but Brady, I had a sub bet on Brady. He didn't get it. Had a sub bet on Sabatini. He didn't get it. And then I had a sub bet on Khamzat. He did not get it. But I also had Volkov to win in over 1.5 rounds at plus 100, which I liked as well. I don't know. It was kind of close, but I gave the first round to Volkov. He outlanded Waldo 33-15. Most of those were leg kicks, though, which always worries me. Second round, I thought Waldo was looking pretty good up until Volkov hurt Waldo and made him do the salsa dance, which was pretty funny on the fight companion. And then the third round, I did score for Waldo. But yeah, 2 judges gave Volkov 29-28. 1 judge gave 30-27. And once I heard the 30-27, I knew that Volkov got the job done. So that was big as well. So yeah, 2 event winning streak, but I feel like I'm right there. I feel like I'm right there ready to break through. If Brady finishes late, I mean, it's a massive night. If Perisic finished early last week, it was a massive night. So I'm looking to get a massive night this week, Wheezy. And it all starts with Nicole Caliari at -260. What are your thoughts, or what were your thoughts over the weekend?
Yeah, I had a good card, but some good bets, but not some just bad ones too. Like my dog pick of the week was the Joel Alvarez money line. Man, I mean, Amasov just rinsed him. That fight was not close. I took a shot on Jordan Santos against Susurkayev. I took a quarter unit shot on his money line and another quarter unit shot on his decision prop at plus 1050. I thought it was looking all right after 2 rounds. You know, the first round was kind of close, but they gave it to Susurkayev on 2 out of 3 cards. And then Sanger kind of started rolling downhill in the second half of the fight and looked pretty good there. The other small loss was Dawson to win by knockout at plus 900 for a quarter unit. Ass shaving of the week was Sean Brady. Obviously, I made it that before all the line movement and shit. That terrified me because I've walked face first into every trap bet and fixed fight that's happened over the last 5 years. I literally had money on Derek Minner versus who's the guy? Shayan Nurdenbecka. I literally had 3 units on Bulgarian versus Del Valle. I had money on Michael Johnson when his nephew got kidnapped. I had money on Lucas Almeida when they let him fight with a broken hand. I mean, I had money on Jake Matthews when his fight finished and then didn't finish against Neil Magny. You know, there's been a lot of spots that I've just walked face first into. And when I saw that line started to move, and we talked about it here on Stat Diggers the week before, I was like, you know, this guy's always hurt. And evidently he went into the fight with a broken nose. His nose looked like terrible. I think it might have been broken going into the fight, but there would have been nothing more that I would have liked than to have the Sean Brady fight get canceled, because I just did not think that with that kind of line movement I thought there had to be some kind of inside information, some kind of injury, some kind of illness, something going on with Brady that was causing the line to move that much. But really, it turns out it was just a fucking horrible bet. Like, somebody lost $200,000 betting on Joaquin Buckley and evidently with no inside information to speak of. So pretty bizarre stuff there, but that was my biggest position. I had 2 units on his money line. I had his money line parlayed with the Volkov money line for 1 unit at plus 179. I hit on Volkov by decision. I also had a 1 unit bet on the Josh Van money line at plus 140. So finished up 4.2 units, a 62% return on investment for the week. So it was a really good week for me betting wise. And I'm looking to keep it going, get one more win here before this much needed break week until we find out how many more weeks we got to go after the break week. It might be another long stretch, Brady.
Yep, and it all starts with laying 5 units on Alice Ardolene.
Yeah, it's that kind of week, right? You know, you're going to be, if you want to lay juice, you know, you're going to have to lay juice on Ardolene or Caliari.
Oh,
yeah, man. Like, there's some fighters that you traditionally would never be laying juice on, and you're going to be doing it this week just because it's that kind of a week. It's a low-level card.
Let's see. I didn't do a who needs to get help poll. Who needs to get help over the...
So let's look. Where's my UFC stats at? All right. So,
Jeremy Stevens needs a lot of help, dude.
Yeah, he got knocked out badly.
He got subbed.
Let's see. Chimaev, minus 500 favorite, gets tired after 1 round. He might need a little bit of help.
What about
Joaquin Buckley needs help, dude.
Yeah. What about Kopylov? He needs some help.
No, Kopylov looked great.
No, I'm talking about, like, he had the finish.
He had 3 finishes, yeah, but I think he might have bet on himself to win by decision. He had made some very interesting decisions when he had Tulio hurt, man. Really interesting decisions.
Jared Gordon.
Yeah, Jared Gordon got smoked out there by a 42-year-old man.
Jared Gordon. Buckley Gordon for sure. Chimaev, Stevens. I think that's about it. I mean,
Yeah.
I think Sabatini and Gomi both need help. I mean, that fight was the worst fight on the card. Yeah, we'll go with that. But overall, I don't think really anybody needed a ton of help. So, all right. So while you guys vote on that, we will get to the chat real quickly. Yeah, who's late now, bitch? Who's late now?
That's right.
If I see anyone mention the L word, they're getting banned forever. Yeah, late. We're not late. Come on. Buckley needs another year off, maybe 2 or 3. So it's wild. Like, people were talking about he was wrestling the last year with Usman. I mean, that ended up not being true because I saw a video where he said that he didn't train his wrestling and grappling at all after the fight. It looked like it didn't at all. Brady and Weezy just want to give you a heads up that Jared Gordon has been demoted to toilet cleaning duties at the McDonald's in New York, where he's now working at. Are you going to blame a car again? No, you can't blame a car there. Yeah, no more excuses, Jared Gordon.
Yep.
Late start line is plus 350. Well, you lost that bet because we started extra early. Will there be a fight companion this Saturday? I know MVP Rousey card is happening too. There will be a fight companion. And unless something crazy happens. Cody Brundage fight week, let's go. We got UFC GOAT, what's up? Calamari fight week, let's go. Let's get it. Dicking down 10 inches deep, let's go. Let's go. An hour early this week, yes. I had money on Kopylov and Rambetsky. My TV may or may not be filled with holes caused by flying bricks. Yeah, they both showed some of the worst fight IQ imaginable, especially Rambetsky. Why are you grappling with Grant Dawson? Why are you grappling with him after you hurt Grant Dawson? I mean, that was
bizarre. Bizarre. It looked like he was trying to lose.
That was horrible. Late AF. No, that's not true. But I agree with Kimbo here. Not a second late. Agreed. Brundage KOs Petroski. Been watching Brady since 2020, and I'll subscribe if I hear any different. Yeah, I mean, if Brundage is gonna get a win, I mean, this dude Petroski got knocked out by a hip. He got knocked out by Jacob Malkoon. So anything's possible. Never late. Agreed. Yeah, we're early. We're actually early today. We got Dr. Peter. What's up, Brady and Weezy? I'm feeling a little tired. May lay down for a while, like Chimaev round 2. Yeah, that was literally just pulled Gerle on his back. It was wild, absolutely wild. Ardolene Viana is great matchmaking. I mean, yes. Jeremy Stevens and Jared Gordon will be back.
Let's go.
Gordon will be back. I don't think Stevens will be back. I mean, he missed.
They should fight each other.
They should. Yeah, I guess they could. They could.
It's pretty good matchmaking right there.
Joe Alvarez needs some help. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Wasn't a great performance.
It wasn't. Big Steve is off. Big Steve is not awful. Come on, man. Big Steve is not awful. Big Steve's the man.
Yeah, Left for Dead is awful.
Yeah.
Yeah, come in here and you come on Stat Diggers and you make fun of our sponsors. You can get the hell out of here with that shit.
Yeah, I mean,
you're awful.
The sponsor.
You're awful.
Yeah. Left for Dead. We're gonna leave him for dead.
Yeah,
he doesn't stop. I thought the main was basically a draw, and Sean didn't do enough to take the belt from Chimaev. Yeah, I kind of thought they'd give it to Chimaev, to be honest, but it was a very, very, very close fight. Brady, just be happy you don't have to bet on Ludacris Godinez this week. Yeah, I'm very happy about that. Looks like Big Steve and Left 4 Dead are going at it. Does Tatsura know what half guard is? No. He knows what full mount is, though. But I don't think he landed a ground and pound strike the entire time he was in mount. What's up, boys? Time to max bet Arnold Allen. Oh, God. What's up, boys? What's up? We laying juice on Petroski. No, we're not laying juice on Petroski. He has no chin. What's up, D? Good to see you in here. Rambetsky needs help. Did I put Rambetsky in that needs help? No, I didn't. Dang it. He needs help, though. Rambetsky needs help. Buckley for sure. Yeah, Buckley does need help. Buckley made Sean Brady look like Khabib. Yeah, he did. Jim Miller sub 1 plus 2,200. Crazy. Stat Diggers, Bookie Beatdown, Dan Levy, and MMA Fortune Teller are the only good MMA shows nowadays, but y'all are the best. Maybe Bookie Beatdown, but it's close. Yeah, all those are really good. So appreciate that.
Oh yeah.
How do you and Uncle Weezy feel about Sean Strickland going to the death before fight and during and after they're hugging? Oh, so how do I feel about the shenanigans before the fight? I mean, it was all fake. It was all fake, I suppose, because they were like touching gloves multiple times before the fight. Like Weezy, I saw somebody bet like hundreds and thousands of dollars on a non-glove on no glove touch before the fight, and I think it was like 80% on those prediction markets. 80% they don't touch gloves. It was like something crazy like that, and they touched gloves 3 times, and I was like, what? Why are they touching gloves? Because I haven't seen bad blood like that in a very, very long time, maybe since Conor and Habib, and they were high-fiving and touching gloves before the fight. And then after Hamzat put the belt around Sean Strickland, I mean, that bad blood was so fake that it was insane. I couldn't believe what I was watching, but
They know how to sell a fight, though. You know, that's
they
what you
did.
got to do, man. When you get those big title fights, whether you hate the guy or not, you got to make the audience believe that you hate him. You got to give them a reason to show up and root for one of you guys. And they did a great job of that. But I mean, we've watched enough fights to know that a lot of that shit is fake. And the one example I always bring up is Makayev versus Kopp.
Oh,
One of the most disgusting fights that ever happened. And the lead up to that fight, you really thought that these guys wanted to kill each other. They actually had guys in the cage. And there was a guy who had his hands on Manel Kopp for the entire time that they were announcing both fighters. And I was like, man, Kopp's going to punch this guy in the face. This guy won't take his hands off of him. And he's like walking around back and forth, pacing back and forth like he wants to get at Makayev, and then waits about 3.5 minutes to throw the first punch after the fight starts. One of the most disgusting fights I've ever seen in my life, and two of the least exciting fighters to ever do it.
oh gosh.
But they sold it.
They did, man. And so did Strickland and Chimaev. I'm from Philly, and please do not bet Petroski. Trust me, I won't, man. I won't. We got the only Godfather in the building. Yeah, Chimaev even kicked Strickland in the dick pre-fight, and then they're touching gloves. They're slapping butts out there. What's going on, man? I mean, that's I didn't like that, but I did like the fight. I thought it was a good fight. All right, Weezy, we got to get into it. We got some fights to get through. And we're going to kick it off with, and by the way, we did lose 2 fights. We lost Jeremiah Wells, Nicholas Dalby. They were looking for a Wells replacement. I'm assuming they're going to bring in some random midweek, which is always fun. And then Trey Ogden, some of the best fight IQ in the game in and outside the cage, Weezy, because outside the cage, he pulled out of the fight with an injury against against Gant. And now they're going to be getting Gant probably some bum. And he's going to be minus 2,000. So right now we have 12 fights, but when it's all said and done, we probably have 14, which is it's great. All right, so let's get to the first fight that we'll talk about, and it's going to be Nicole Caliari going against Shauna Bannon. We got Nicole Caliari, 29 years old, 5'3" with a 62-inch reach. Shauna Bannon, 32 years old, 5'5" with a 65-inch reach. We got Shauna Bannon, who is 3-2 in her last 5 fights. Decision loss to Bruno Brazil in her debut. A decision win against Alice Ardolene. A submission win against Pooja Tamar, or Pooja Tamar, like you like to call her. And then a submission loss to Sam Hughes. As far as Nicole Caliari, 3-2 in her last 5 fights. Made her debut against Ernesta Carrascate. Lost that fight by decision. And they got knocked out in round 3 by Carly Giudice. She did a first-round submission win on the Contender Series. So I got in we got tagged in a post this week, Weezy. Finn's tagged us, and he said that there are a lot of OnlyFans this week, and I want to see the exact number of OnlyFans. So there are, it's a record setting. 5 women on this card, Weezy, have an OnlyFans. 5 women have an OnlyFans. I mean, that's got to be a record. And I know Dixon's loving it, but the 5 women are Shauna Bannon,
Okay.
Nicole Caliari, Alice Ardolene,
Yeah, that's not surprising.
Pauliana Viana, and this is Ketlin Vieira is the 5th one.
God help us.
Ketlin Vieira is the 5th one.
There is no way that that's anything but, watch me train, watch me, get ready for. There is no way, right? Please,
what ask Dixon,
please,
man?
somebody confirm my suspicions.
I'll try to confirm it when you break this down. But I mean, it's crazy. Like they got Shauna Bannon and Caliari both have OnlyFanses. They're going against each other. Same thing with Ardolene and Viana. But Vieira has an OnlyFans. I mean, that's crazy, man. I mean, that's about as bad as Jessica Andrade. I think I'd rather look at Jessica Andrade than Ketlin Vieira, to be honest.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
there's no question about it. Actually,
yeah, Andrade is kind of cute.
Yeah. Ketlin, no. No, but she's that's a high level fight though. Ketlin Vieira versus Cavalcanti is a high level fight. Now the fight that we're just about to talk about right here, not so much, Brady. Nicole Caliari moving down here to 115 from 125, probably the right move.
Yeah. So this was kind of the first. Believe it or not, this was like the spot that jumped off the page to me Saturday. I was like, man, I like Caliari at minus 170. I still got to look into it, but I like her here. And now she's minus 260. I think she currently is the biggest favorite on the card, and money is continuing to pour in on her. And after looking into it, yeah, I like Caliari here. She's pretty good everywhere. She has solid hands, solid power. But where I think she's going to really look good in this fight is going to be with the wrestling, the judo. She's very strong, good ground and pound on top, good grappling. Shauna Bannon kind of just a point fighter. She did get a sub against Puja Tamar, but she got dropped prior to that. I think Caliari probably wins this fight everywhere, but yeah, the line's getting smoked. Apparently, a lot of people are liking them some calamari, and I like calamari too. So, minus 255 now, Weezy. So kind of missed the boat, but yeah, we'll see what happens. But yeah, I can't pick Shauna Bannon here. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, Shauna with those kind of like those side kicks, like it's a lot of kicks, a lot of touching, but not really any power at all. She's landed 0 knockdowns in her UFC fights, but she does have a positive, significant strike differential, both at distance and overall. But where I like Nicole has been out there striking against some really good strikers in Karascache and Judy's. So her numbers look like shit. Like she's got a negative 4.72 distance striking differential. She lands almost 5, but she's absorbing almost 10 significant strikes per minute. And that's because she fought Karascache and Judy's, who are both volume monsters. So I think her metrics look a lot worse than what they really are. But Bannon, this is in the small cage in the apex. And Bannon's somebody who does throw a lot of kicks. And I mean, I think that this is something that matters in this fight. It matters in the main event as well with Costa and Allen. It's going to be about using the pressure for Caliari to close the distance, get outside of kicking range where Shauna does her best work. Use that low center of gravity in that judo to get takedowns, top time against Shauna, who's given up 35% control time while only getting 5% control time. So she's only winning 1/8 of the control time positions in her fights, and she's giving up a lot of offense to her opponents in those control time positions with a negative 2.16 ground clinch and ground strike differential. Caliari's not much better, to be honest with you, but at least she's very dangerous with the submissions and has shown the ability to kind of win some minutes with top time. So, yeah, I think I actually favor Shauna Bannon just a little bit at distance striking range. But I think that if Caliari fights smart, gets Bannon on the back foot, backs her up to the fence, and mixes in the clinch and the grappling here, she should be able to get her hand raised by decision. But I don't know, man. Minus 250? I'd rather play Bannon at this price, to be honest with you. Yeah. Because I'm not laying minus 250 on fucking Nicole Caliari.
Yeah.
Too old for that shit.
I'll be playing some props on it. There's some juicy props, which I don't say a lot on a Monday. But there's some juicy props sticking out.
Caliari by sub plus 450. Is that what you're looking at?
Is it only 4? I'd rather just take the inside the distance because the ground and pound's nasty. But yeah, I do lean sub.
Plus 300 for the inside the distance, plus 1,200 for the KO though.
Yeah, her ground and pound.
If it is ground and pound, man, that'll pay handsomely.
Yeah, but I think it is
decision, maybe plus 235.
What is it? Oh yeah, I think Caliari decision's a minus number, but yeah, I think the
Yeah,
sub's
it is.
super live. And I think she should go to it, and she will go to it. I don't think she's stuffing takedowns here, Bannon. So the wiki feed scores, man, I mean, Bannon has the better wiki feed score. Wheezy Bannon's wiki
Oh.
feed is 4.58, which is honestly a very, very respectable score. And by the look at some of these photos, I would tend to agree.
Okay.
Very, very good.
What does
Very good.
Caliari have? Do we have a score for her?
Yes, we do. It's also a decent score. You know, you want to see it a little bit higher, and I think they could even be shortchanging her a little bit, just judging by the photos.
Okay.
4.16.
Okay.
But maybe I'll make an account and maybe I'll give her a 5-star and get that up a little bit because she only has 39 votes.
Yeah, and you made fun of me for saying that there might be value on Bannon, and here she is with the better wiki feed score. So in your face, nephew.
I mean, maybe Caliari wants to test her distance striking.
You never know, dude. When Grant Dawson does it, we can't put it past anybody, dude.
Could you imagine Bannon winning this fight just by those stupid little kicks she does for 15 minutes?
Oh my God, would that be wild? That would be really close the distance, Nicole, you know?
Oh gosh. I'm not subbing to Vieira's only. That's the last thing I'm doing. I'm not subbing to her OnlyFans. There's no way. Absolutely no way. Bannon power move is the electric slide. Yeah, she likes doing the electric slide. Bannon's so garbage. Smart thing to do is pass. Yeah, but people aren't passing, man. I mean, this line's getting obliterated in favor of Nicole Caliari. Brady and Uncle Weezy, will you be doing any breakdowns for the first MVP MMA card happening this Saturday, same time as the Apex card? No.
No.
Why
I'm a big
are
Ronda
people?
Rousey fan. I, as somebody who grew up doing judo, I loved watching Ronda Rousey show her judo skills in the octagon, and I think she's one of the OGs. I think the community owes Ronda Rousey something for what she, the doors that she opened for female mixed martial artists in the UFC here. Because if it weren't for her, it would have probably been a couple more years before we even started getting women's MMA. She was the only one that really had any kind of appeal to the general fans. So I'm glad to see her, going out there against Gina Carano and, making some money, and there's some hype on the fight. But I'm going to be watching the UFC, and I'm going to be capping the UFC, and then I'm going to relax for a week, Brady.
Yeah. I won't be doing that. Anyway, Gant got a new fight already. Here's my prediction.
Oh,
they gave him a complete bum.
So I was on Twitter just before I got on, and I saw that Cub Swanson was kind of hyping one of his dudes that's LFA champion, 12-1 record. What's his name?
I don't know, but I saw that too. It doesn't matter because it's not him though.
Oh fuck! Who is it? It's not Richie Miranda.
His name is Artur Minev.
Who?
Artur Minev.
Mineev.
Yeah, I think Marcel spelled it wrong, but I think it's Artur Minev. The headhunter.
The headhunter.
I think it's that's who he's talking about.
Let me see what I'm gonna go to Marcel's page.
It kind of that's it. It's Artur Minev.
Artur Minev. Yeah, okay.
Oh wow, 7-0. Fury FC guy.
Oh, okay. Good. Fury's one of the better, probably one of the top promotions in the country right now.
A lot of knockouts. Okay, so Thomas Gant is going to be minus 1,000 at least. There we go.
And is this going to be at welterweight or light? I guess we'll find out because I know that Gant has been cutting down to 155 when most of his regional scene fights were at 170 and 185. But I think the reason he was taking those fights at 170 and 185 was because the dude fought something like 12 times in 1 year. So no time to fucking cut weight when you're fighting every 3 weeks.
Oh, this guy named Revolver on Marcel's tweet gave some notes on Artur Minev. So I guess he has some devastating power in his hands.
Okay.
He's able to dictate the pace of the fight. Some good combinations and feints and power and heavy leg kicks. Okay, so he's a good striker. He does lack some head movement, though. Can be low, very low volume at times. So there's mostly hooks and overhands. He's very uncomfortable when pressured. Oh boy, that's not good. Gant's gonna pressure, and then he has some good grappling as well. All right, yeah, Gant's gonna be minus 1,000 probably.
Yeah.
Okay. Pick her round 3 if anything. Gordon took a dive. Who's with me? I don't think he took a dive. Lots of OnlyFans and WikiFeet to account for. Hope you all did your. Yeah, I had to do some extra tape study, man. I'm still not done taping all these fights because of that. Kellen and Andrade OnlyFans collab. That's the last thing we need. That is absolutely the last thing we need. Who? Yeah, I don't know, but he's undefeated. He's definitely undefeated. Fury's up there with Rough and Rowdy.
No, it's not. Come on, Fury's on. That's where we got Josh Van from. Come on, man. Fury's a phenomenal promotion.
Yeah, no, minus 250, but she should get the sub. Yeah, I mean the sub prop could be interesting on a different book. I think it can get better than plus 400. All right, let's move on to the next fight, and it is going to be, oh God, Daniel Perez going against Luis Gerle. We got Daniel Perez, 37 years old, 5'6" with a 66-inch reach. Luis Gerle, 32 years old, 5'5" with a 64-inch reach. We got Gerle 5 years younger. Perez with a 1-inch height advantage and a 2-inch reach advantage. Perez is 3-2 in his last 5 fights. Made his debut against Jafel Filho, lost that fight by a first-round submission. Beat Victor Altamirano by decision, and then lost to Andre Lima by third-round submission. As far as Luis Gerle, 2-3 in his last 5 fights, a decision win on the Contender Series against Nick Piccinini. Got knocked out by Odi Osborne, lost a decision to Jesus Aguilar, and then lost a decision to Alden Correa. So this is a fight I just want to stay the hell away from, Weezy, because on one hand, you got Perez, who's 37 and a half. Like, when I saw that, I had to double check and then triple check, because 37 and a half at flyweight, like that's definitely getting up there. And he's kind of new. He's new to the UFC, so I did not expect him to be anywhere near 37 and a half. And Luis Gerle, I'm done with this guy, man. I mean, this guy has a lot of skills, solid boxing, really good wrestling, good cardio. He does a lot of things really well, but he doesn't have a chin. I mean, this guy got knocked out by Odi. We can forgive him for that. This guy was getting pieced up by Jesus Aguilar, who has a 42-inch reach. I couldn't believe my eyes. Jesus Aguilar was putting it on him in the first and third round in the striking. I'm like, Luis, what's going on, man? How is Jesus Aguilar outstriking you? And then you lose to Alden Carrera, which there's no shame in that as well. But I'm looking at this fight, and it's like, I think Gerle is the much better fighter. It's just he can't really take a punch, and his durability stinks, and at flyweight, durability is really important. Believe it or not, Weezy, I'm kind of leaning Gerle here, but I can't bet it. Like, Perez has power. Perez is a solid finisher. But, yeah, it's a pick 'em. I think it's a pick 'em for a good reason. This is going to be a pass for me. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, probably for me too, man, because Perez is going to be super dangerous early in this fight. I mean, like, this guy really goes out there looking to kill you. And if he doesn't, he fades in the second half of the fight and usually doesn't have much left in the tank to close out the fight or have a strong third round. So a guy like Gerle, who's chinny, could potentially be open to, I mean, like, you remember the Filho fight for Perez? Dude, he had him in bad spots there a couple different times in that fight. It was just that he kind of gassed out trying to get him out of there. And if that's Gerle, Filho made it through that. Gerle doesn't, So I could see Perez, probably the best way to play him would be to win and under 1.5 rounds, because this guy is such a phenomenal finisher. To have 13 finishes and 17 wins as a flyweight is really impressive. You don't see 75% finish weights for flyweight where, in the UFC, these fights are finishing at about a 44% clip. So Perez is going to be very dangerous early, but if he slows down, Luis's pressure and volume and pocket boxing could probably win the second and third rounds of this fight. So, I mean, I could see this going either way, and the line kind of is right where I would expect it to be for this kind of a fight. So I don't know what to do here. I was thinking maybe just an under, because I could see like Gerle maybe getting him out of there in round 3 if he does slow down, but I could also see Perez really putting it on him in rounds 1 or the beginning of round 2 and finding an early finish. But this thing is priced right about where it should be at Fight Doesn't Go to Decision for about plus 125 here.
Ugh, yeah, that's not good enough for me, to be honest.
Yeah. Flyweight fight, you want a bigger number than that.
Yeah, because I don't think Gerle's finishing. Like, if Perez is going to get finished, it's going to be by sub. He's been subbed a ton, but I don't think Gerle is going to sub him. So maybe Perez an early knockout, maybe. But outside of that, I don't know. This is brutal. This is brutal. I had high hopes for Gerle. A lot of people had high hopes for Gerle. Like, he came into the Oda fight as a pretty big favorite. I remember a lot of people were betting him that week, but I mean,
yeah, he was minus 200 in his first 2 UFC fights, lost both of them, and now the market's just done with him. But this was a guy who was a market darling when he was in Fury FC and getting wins there.
Yeah, he's a good fighter. Just doesn't have a chin. I mean, in that Aguilar fight, you shouldn't be getting outstruck by Aguilar. He has a 36-inch reach.
Yeah, it's not good, dude.
Yep, early start time. Perez beats his ass and then gasses out. Yeah, that's what happened in the Filio fight. I mean, he gassed out in like 2 minutes. It was wild, 2 or 3 minutes. Perez does gas, though, true. Yeah. All right, I'm back, caught up. There we go. Perez has 7 minutes of solid distance strikes, and then it gets Death Gas City. Yeah. Like I said, I think a pick'em's about right, man. I don't want anything to do with either of these guys. A 37-and-a-half-year-old flyweight with 5 minutes of cardio. Oh.
Yeah, it's not good.
A flyweight with no chin. Oh. Gosh. Gerle has more ass than her. You guys start. Yeah, we started early. I think just for this week only. Just for this week only. We wanted to start an hour earlier so we can get more research. I got a lot of extra research to do. I already taped the Ardolene fight for 3 hours, but I need to tape it for 3 more hours after the show. So I'm going to be up late researching this Alice Ardolene fight. Why are you nutting to these fights? I'm not doing that. All right, let's move on to the next fight. And it is going to be, oh, God. Speaking of Alice Ardolene, speaking of ass, we got Alice Ardolene going against Polyana Viana. We got Alice Ardolene, 34 years old, 5'3" with a 61-inch reach. Polyana Viana, 33 years old, 5'5" with a 67-inch reach. Viana, 1 year younger, 2-inch height advantage and a 6-inch reach advantage. Alice Ardolene is 3-2 in her last 5 fights. A decision loss to Shauna Bannon, a decision loss to Melissa Martinez, decision win against Rando Santos, and then a decision win against Montserrat Ruiz. As far as Polyana Viana, 1-4 in her last 5 fights. Decision loss to Tabitha Ricci. Knockout win against Jinyu Fry. Submission loss to Yasmin Lucindo. Knockout loss to Jillian Robertson. And a submission loss to Jacqueline Amarim. So, yeah, I mean, this is another brutal one where it's like one of these fighters, well, both of these fighters are OnlyFans models. But I feel like Ardolene's taken her career a lot seriously. Like, if you go to Ardolene's Instagram, you're going to see a ton of training footage, a ton of striking, wrestling, grappling, all that. You're going to see she's actually, really working on MMA and stuff like that. You go to Polyana Viana's Instagram, you see the complete opposite. You see some cosplaying. You see her in a bunch of costumes. You see her doing TikToks. You see her doing Instagram Reels. You see her doing dances with Johnny Walker. You see her doing skits. You don't see any training, really. I think Polyana Viana is a cosplayer at this stage of her career, and Ardolene is actually taking her career seriously and getting better. She looked really good in her last couple of fights. She's putting up massive numbers in the volume. And, I would have liked to see her take down Montserrat Ruiz in her last fight, because if you take down Montserrat Ruiz, like you can finish her easily, but she didn't do that. What she did do, though, is put up like 160 significant strikes on her. I think it'd be wise to not take down Viana here as well. Viana's very dangerous off her back. And I think that's the path to victory for Viana, is like a armbar from guard type situation. So, yeah, I like Ardolene. I like the volume. And I think she just kind of wants it more at this stage of her career. So give me Ardolene here. Minus 195. It's disgusting, but this card's kind of disgusting, Weezy. What do you think about this one?
Yeah, I mean, like, Polyana Viana's never really shown the ability to be able to win minutes, right? She's got 13 career wins and 13 finishes, 8 submissions and 5 knockouts. So she really does rely on winning moments, and that's probably why we see her on her back so much, just kind of giving up minutes, hunting for that submission. She gets 8% control time and allows 51% 100% control time. So, anytime Ardolene doesn't like how it's going on the feet here, she can take down Viana. And it's not like Viana is out there, like winning a bunch of UFC fights by sub in recent years. Her last win came by knockout over Jin Yu Fry. That was 2022.
Oh,
but you got to remember, at least she's losing to real fighters like Amarim, Jillian Robertson, Yasmin Lucindo, Tabitha Ricci. I mean, Alice Ardolene looked good against Rayan dos Santos and Montserrat Ruiz.
Oh,
let's not forget she lost to Shauna Bannon.
She didn't, but yeah.
Yeah, I know. It was, like it still got left up to the judges, and it was still close enough for her to lose that fight. So do I want to lay minus 200 on Ardolene? No, but she's definitely going to be the one throwing more volume on the feet, probably landing more. And I think she can get takedowns whenever she wants them. So if she can stay safe from the submissions, not eat a big shot on the feet, she should be able to get this. But yeah, I mean, like this is, I just cannot lay that kind of juice on Ardolene here.
Yeah, of course not. Of course not. I kind of don't mind the under. Viana's been finished a shit ton in her career. Plus 160. I was hoping for a better number. Jeez. Plus 160 for violence in this fight. But yeah, I can see it. If Ardolene gets on top, her ground and pound is super vicious. And we saw Viana get ground and pounded a couple fights ago. I don't think Ardolene's subbing Viana, but I could see a ground and pound KO. And then if Viana's winning it will be by finish. It will be a submission off her back. It will be maybe a knockout because Ardolene's very hittable. But yeah, definitely lean Ardolene here. But it's definitely a gross price tag. Definitely a gross price tag. What are the wiki feed? Let's see what the wiki feed, because I know both these ladies are definitely on wiki feed, man.
They gotta be, right?
Let's see, Alice Ardolene. Yes, she is on. Oh God, 4.04. Not incredible.
The foot enthusiasts aren't as enamored with Ardolene as are the ass enthusiasts, Brady.
Now, if there was a wiki ass, I mean, she'd have a 5 out of 5 star rating.
Yeah, and I would have been there rating it the same.
Yeah, because 4.04 though for Alice Ardolene, and then let's see what Pollyanna is. I have a feeling Pollyanna is gonna destroy that. 130 photos, which is a ton. Oh my gosh. Pollyanna Viana, a 4.7 wiki feet score. I mean, that's up there with the likes of, girls like Macy Barber and Alexa Grasso. 4.7 is an incredible score. Big up.
You're getting her a plus money.
Yeah. But she's not a fighter. She's a cosplayer. She's a model. I don't know. Very interesting fight. The Ricci fight was effing ridiculous. I had a bet on Ricci there, and I was loving every second of it. Viana was doing the flop to your back thing. It was, I loved it. I mean, I love that spot. No easy. We see her on her back so much because we were all taping the OnlyFans. Yeah, like I'm gonna have to dig more into this fight after the show for sure. Joaquin Buckley needs the kind of help money can't buy. Agreed. I see you have a nice full glass of that again in the thumbnail. Good stuff. What are you talking about? Wiki feed scores. Yeah, Viana smokes her on the wiki feed. But if there was a wiki ass, Ardolene smoking Viana. I mean, if this was a line based off of ass, I mean, Alice Ardolene would be minus 1,000 or greater. Maybe minus 2,000. Alice solid, Pog, Viana prettier though. Absolutely. Agree with that. This fight is 1-800 gambler. Yeah, borderline the whole card is though. And it's funny how these are the spots I like on this. I told Weezy I like Ardolene, I like Caliari. I will talk about I like Erslon this week, and I like some other bum this week. It's a brutal one this week, guys. It is absolutely brutal. All right, let's move on to the next fight. It is going to be it gets worse. How does it get worse? We got Cody Brundage going against Andre Petroski. We got Cody Brundage, 31 years old, 6 foot with a 72-inch reach. Petroski, 34 years old, 6 foot with a 73-inch reach. We got Brundage 3 years younger, same height. Petroski with a 1-inch reach advantage. Brundage 1, 3, and 1 draw in his last 5 fights. Had a knockout win against Julian Marquez. I guess a draw against Mansur Abdulmalik. A decision loss against Meconico. a knockout loss to Cam Ralston, a decision loss to Dante Johnson, who's a fan of the show, by the way. As far as Andre Petroski, 3-2 in his last 5 fights. Decision win against Josh Fremd, decision win against Dylan Budker, a decision win against Rodolfo Vieira, a decision loss to Edmund Shabazian, and then a knockout loss to Cam Ralston. This fight is brutal, Weezy, because on one hand, you have Andre Petroski, who just doesn't have a chin. No. He doesn't have a chin unless I bet Edmund Shabazian by knockout.
Oh, for Christ's sake.
And then he has the chin. But outside of that, Weezy, well, Shabazian's an extreme couture guy, I think. So do the math.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, he has no chin, Weezy. I mean, this guy Petroski, I went back and watched the Ralston fight. Ralston landed a shot. It looked like he barely touched him.
Mm-hmm.
And Petroski went down like a sack of potatoes. Shabazian did drop him late in the fight. Michel Pereira sparked him in the first minute of the fight. Jacob Malkoun knocked him out with a hip. I mean, Petroski, his chin is completely dusted. I mean, Cody Brundage, for better or for worse, Weezy, he has power. Cody Brundage hits hard. So I think Brundage could be a live dog, but at that same time, I went back and watched a lot of these Brundage fights, and what I noticed is anytime Brundage ends up on his back, not only is he losing the fight, he's looking off when getting finished. It goes all the way back to William Knight on the Contender Series. Knight gets on top and ground and pounds him and gets a first-round knockout. Rodolfo Vieira gets on top and gets him with the arm triangle. Mikhail Olazechuk reverses him, gets on top, and pounds him out very shortly after. Bo Nickel gets on top and rear naked chokes him. And then in the 2 fights ago, Cam Ralston gets on top and TKOs him. The only time somebody's gotten on top and hadn't finished him, Weezy, was in the Cedricus Dumas fight. And I went back and watched that fight. In the second round, Dumas had an easy rear naked choke. Dumas had the arm under the neck. All he had to do was take his second arm and sync it up and get the hook in. And he didn't for some reason because he's Cedricus Dumas. But I mean, anytime he's on his back, he just looks awful. He does his version of the corpse guard. I call it the Brundage guard. He gets on his hands and knees, Weezy, and he puts his head down like that. And then he does it in like every fight. He gets on his hands and knees and he puts his head down like that and hopes you hit him in the back of the head. So, I mean, Petroski has the ability to look minus 1,000 here, but he also get knocked out in the first exchange. This fight is disgusting. You can't lay minus 200 on Petroski really in any fight, especially against a power hitter. But if Petroski gets his grappling game going, Cody's just a 0 off of his back. Weezy, what are your thoughts on this absolute travesty of a fight?
Yeah, it's wild. I mean, like, I think Cody Brundage is really live here, right? He's got good wrestling. So as long as you can keep the fight on the feet against Petroski, he's completely harmless and he has no fucking chin. And then not to mention, it doesn't help being a fucking retard too. You know, I mean, you could tell with the haircuts and the leopard print on the side of the head, you know, not throwing ground and pound when he gets to dominant positions, not wrestling when he clearly should wrestle. You know, I mean, like, Petroski is just somebody, like, I can't believe he won so many fights in the UFC. He's got 8 UFC wins, you know, but you add up the records of the guys that he's beating and they're combined 25 and 39. The last 3 wins are Rodolfo Vieira, who's, you know, just wound up being a tepid striking bout where I don't even know who won. I mean, Petroski lost the striking match to Rodolfo Vieira. He got Dylan Budker down in all 3 rounds, Brady, and never got anywhere close to getting him out of there. He couldn't get Josh Fremd out of there. It took him till round 3 to get Huya Zong out of there. Oh. I think it took him till round 3 to get Michael Gilmore out of there. This guy's had some of the easiest fights that you could possibly have. And Petroski's got a great blend of freestyle wrestling and Brazilian jiu-jitsu that when he uses that properly against guys like Dylan Budker and Josh Fremd, he can get on top and just, you know, I mean, like, lay and pray. He's got elite lay and pray. He's completely harmless, basically from any position on the mat or at distance striking range, but he can lay on top of you for extended stretches, and Cody Brundage has nothing off of his back. So I think it's either Petroski by decision, or if Petroski doesn't get his wrestling game going, I could see Cody winning minutes on the feet. I could see him winning moments on the feet. I could even see Cody getting a takedown or two maybe and finding some top times. So, I think Cody might win this fight, dude.
Yeah, I think he could as well. I would just bet the knockout prop, though. I don't think Cody's ever winning a decision in the UFC.
Against Petroski, he might.
No, because if Cody's having success, that means he's stuffing takedowns. And if he's stuffing takedowns, it means he's knocking him out.
Well, he might knock him out, yeah, but I mean, like we just talked about how Shabazian didn't, and that's bizarre.
Well, that was a fixed fight.
Yeah, I know that was weird. That was weird, and that was a great example of Andre Petroski fight IQ.
Yeah. I mean, I actually lean Cody here as well. I was hoping for a good number on violence because I actually do think Petroski could easily finish Brundage because Brundage is just so bad off of his back. I'm surprised the fight doesn't go as minus 160 when Petroski's been the distance. His last, I think, never mind. He got knocked up by his last couple wins have come by decision. Never mind. So
yeah, 4 out of his last 5 fights have went to decision.
Yeah, so I was thinking maybe get a better number on it, maybe a bit later in the week. But yeah, I think Brundage KO could be interesting, but his props are disgusting. Brundage or KO plus 250. He's like plus 170. Brundage round 1 plus 375. I mean, this guy's the underdog.
Oh my God, that is pathetic, dude.
Yeah,
I'd rather play the money line. Honestly, I'd rather play the money line because he might just outbox him for 3 rounds. I mean, Petroski doesn't have great striking. His fight IQ is pathetic. His conditioning stinks.
Yeah.
And his chin stinks. If he's not laying and praying, he's probably not winning.
Has Petroski ever lost a decision, or do all his finishes or all his losses come by finish?
Well, I mean, he's 5-1 to the decision in the UFC, but we don't have to go back that far for him to have a 50-50 striking match with Gerald Meerschaert. Do you remember that?
Yeah,
you remember that?
I do.
Yeah, he couldn't outstrike Meerschaert, and like he won the fight, but just barely. I remember.
Oh, yeah. I'll probably have some action on this fight, but all these props are brutal and dumb, to be honest. I mean, these are all bad props. The fight doesn't go to decision at minus 160 is a bad prop.
Yeah.
Cody Brundage by KO is a bad prop.
That's a bad prop.
Petroski ITD at plus 215 is a bad prop.
It's a bad prop.
Brundage inside the distance at plus 165 is a bad prop. They're kind of. I kind of agree with all these, but they're kind of seeing how I'm seeing it, which is annoying. But yeah, all these are bad props, dude. So as of now, I'm staying away. But I need some better props. What do you guys think about this absolute travesty of a fight? Petroski could look minus 1,000, or he can get knocked down in the first exchange. Couldn't have said it better myself. Yeah, that's kind of how I'm seeing it because Petroski does have the ability to look like a massive, massive favorite here if he gets the ground game going. Gore sucks, though. I don't think he sucks. I can't stand it. Petro or Brundage. Yeah, me too. Might as well take a shot on Cody as a dog. Yeah, it could either look really good or really bad. Excuse the Shabazz performance. Eric Nixick does that to people. Yeah, I mean, it happens all the freaking time. Cody missed 3 guillotines against the legendary Cedricus Dumas, and the felon just laid on him for 3 rounds. Yeah, that was a brutal. I actually went back and watched that fight last night. It was brutal. Absolutely brutal. He did instead of the corpse guard, the Brundage guard, where you just get on your hands and knees, and anybody with any ounce of jiu-jitsu could take your back and submit him, but Dumas kind of just humped him. It was the weirdest thing ever. Brundage is fighting on his birthday. It could be a sign. Maybe KO could be in play. This fight's a pass. This whole card's a pass. Brundage backs to the cage a lot for no reason. Shouldn't be doing that here because Petroski has no power, but he always does. Yeah, if you're Brundage, just touch that chin, man. Touch that chin. Brundage actually has a legit chance of winning, and that is spooky. It is spooky. I always count out. I don't think I picked Cody Brundage once in the UFC, Weezy. I don't think I picked him one time against anybody.
I'm trying to think. I'd have to look at my. I know I've picked him before.
I've picked him literally 0 times, I think. And
I think I picked him against Teresian Gore, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I picked Gore there for sure.
Not trying to brag, but
no, it was a good call.
I interviewed him before that fight.
How do you check to see how many times you picked somebody?
So you got to go to Tapology, and then you got to click on the fighter's name.
I
So
found
I'm
it.
going to Brundage, and then to the right of the picture, you're going to see pick history. View my Cody Brundage predictions, and let's see.
Oh no.
Yeah, I picked Brundage over Dalcha. I won that one. I picked Brundage over Teresian Gore. And I also picked Brundage to beat Oleg Sachek. And I picked him to beat Cedricus Dumas. Oh shit, I picked him to beat to Marquez, and he beat him.
Jeez, you picked him a lot.
Yeah.
So he's had 15 fights. I've actually picked him before, Weezy, and I got it wrong both times. I picked him to beat Cedricus Dumas. I mean, how does he not beat Cedricus Dumas?
Yeah, I know.
That's crazy. So I lost that one, and then I also picked him against Eric McConico.
McConico. Oh, I didn't even have a prediction on that fight. That's bizarre.
They made it late. That's why.
That's why. Yeah. I didn't even make a prediction on that one.
Yeah. So I've actually picked him twice, and I lost both times. I think I'm going to pick him here. So I probably get smoked. Just tune in. Pie with that like button. If you're not one of the people hating on a Saturday live streams, here you go. We got a ton of mean comments on the Fight Companion.
People that don't understand that you just can't show Paramount programming on your own YouTube channel like it's yours, and then mad about it too.
Where's the fight?
These fights were meant to be watched. Then watch them.
I was like, dang.
Nobody's stopping you, dude.
Exactly. That was wild. We got like 20 comments. They're pissed off. At this point, Cody is paying the UFC to fight. Cody's actually paying them to fight. Could be. Chaos Williams is the chump. Hey, you better take that back. You better take that back. Weezy, the Brundage Whisperer potentially.
Not quite. My picks on his fights are not elite, but I have gotten a few right.
Okay. Brundage WikiFeet. So you'll have to go to WikiFeet Men.
Is there a WikiFeet Men?
There is. Cody. I tend to stay off of it though. Cody. There's no Cody Brundage on there. So no Cody Brundage on the WikiFeet Men.
What about Petroski though? Because I mean, I've heard that he kind of gets a lot of credit for his feet.
I doubt any fighters are on. Let's see, Andre Petroski. There's a Peter Andre.
Who?
I don't know, but I don't want to click it.
Yeah,
so no, there's no Petroski or Brundage on WikiFeet. Brundage KO1 is the most abysmal line I've ever seen in my. I think it's like plus 600.
Yeah, it is.
It's unbelievable. Why aren't you showing? Why aren't you showing the game? Yeah, I mean, I stay off of the WikiFeet, man, for sure. I'm not on there. Do we have a? No, you can make that one, Big Steve. You can make that one. Me and Weezy are working on a WikiFeet or WikiAss.
Is there WikiAss? Because I mean, I'm going to go there right now if there is.
No, we got to make it, and the first entry is going to be Alice Ardolene.
Yeah. That one clip of her on her balcony walking out to show the beautiful view in Romania or wherever the hell she was. That's really something.
It's really something. Yeah, these first couple fights are rough, man. Let's see if we get any better. I mean, I guess. I mean, I'm not personally not looking forward to this one, but I actually think it's going to probably be the worst fight on the card from an entertainment standpoint. But we got Ketlen Vieira going against Jacqueline Cavalcanti. We got Ketlen Vieira, 34 years old, 5'8" with a 68-inch reach. Cavalcanti, 28 years old, 5'9" with a 70-inch reach. Cavalcanti, 6 years younger, 1-inch height advantage, 2-inch reach advantage. Vieira is 2-3 in her last 5 fights. Decision loss to Raquel Pennington. Decision win against Panny Kianzad. Decision loss to Kayla Harrison. Decision win against Macy Kazan. And then a decision loss to Norma Dumont. As far as Jacqueline Cavalcanti, 5-0 in her last 5 fights. Decision win against Zara Farron, Josiane Nunez, Nora Cornhole, Julia Avila, and then a decision win against Mara Bueno Silva. So how I'm kind of seeing this fight play out is I think both ladies have, pretty dang good takedown defense. So I see this playing out on the feet for the most part. Obviously, if anybody's going to get takedowns, it's going to be Ketlen Vieira. And I think she should go for takedowns. And if she does get a takedown, she could win the round. But I kind of think Jacqueline stuffs the takedowns, and she's just going to be the much better striker. Probably wins the fight by decision. I think this goes to decision at an extremely high clip. So yeah, I'm leaning Jacqueline Cavalcanti in this one, but I'm not too impressed with Jacqueline, to be honest, at all. Like, I'm not impressed with any of these wins or any of these performances. But yeah, I lean her. What are your thoughts, Weezy?
Do you know that Jacqueline Cavalcanti lost 30-27 on one judge's scorecard to Josiane Nunez?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's a mentally retarded, what do they call that? When you get a job because of your dad? Nepotism.
Nepotism,
yeah. That's Ron McCarthy. Ron McCarthy gave 30-27 to Josie Nunez against Cavalcanti. And you could see him do a judging seminar in Vegas if you want to blow your head off from depression after a 3-hour space with that man in the room. So, look, I think that this is Vieira. She's been fighting at a much, much, much higher level. Her last 5 opponents are Raquel Pennington, Pani Kianzad, Kayla Harrison, Macy Chason, Norma Dumont. Jacqueline Cavalcanti's last 5 opponents are Zara Farron, Josiane Nunez, Nora Cornhole, Julia Avila, and Mayra Bueno Silva. And all 5 of those fighters have one thing in common, Brady, and that's that they all stink.
Yeah.
So this is a big step up in competition. And while Jacqueline Cavalcanti has 88% takedown defense against Zara Farron, Josiane Nunez, Nora Cornhole, Julia Avila, Mayra Bueno Silva.
Yeah, that's your girl.
My girl Mayra. Yeah, man. I mean, like, I love losing money on Mayra Bueno Silva. It's one of my 3 favorite hobbies in life. But dropped another quarter unit on Mayra Bueno Silva by sub in her last fight, just to, for the culture.
Yeah.
But I do think Ketlin's going to be able to probably find some top time here, get some takedowns, win at least one round with some grappling, with some physicality, with some size that she really kind of brings. And that's when I think she's doing a lot of her best work, man. She's very position over submission on top. She gets takedowns. She gets top time. She's physical. And her striking is solid. I don't think Jacqueline is going to be that much better than her. I was watching Jacqueline fight Mayra Bueno Silva before the show here. Fell asleep while watching it, but like the first 8 minutes I was able to stay awake through. Jacqueline's not even running away with that fight. So I think Ketlin at plus money is definitely the play here. I think Jacqueline is the fighter that's got everything to prove here. All you have to do is look at, the level of competition that she's been fighting. The smallest favorite that Cavalcanti has been in 5 UFC fights is minus 220 versus Nora Cornhole. So it goes to show you, even the market understands how big of a step up in competition this is for Jacqueline. And for somebody who's winning fights on very thin margins against ass fighters with no grappling, I don't like this matchup for Jacqueline.
Yeah, I can see it. I can see if Vieira fights smart, for sure. Like, if Vieira gets a takedown, like, that's the round.
Potentially, yeah. I mean, like, Jacqueline has always shown good takedown defense, but how's it going to look against somebody like Ketlin Vieira? Who's fighting Kayla Harrison, who's fighting Macy Chason, who's fighting Norma Dumont, Raquel Pennington. She's been in there against all the best fighters in the division. Her strength of schedule is ranked 4th out of 31, while I have Cavalcanti ranked dead last out of 31. But that's because, like, she doesn't have any losses, so that kind of throws off my rankings a little bit. But it's definitely a big step up for Jacqueline.
Yeah, I mean, if we could take a controller and control these fighters, I'm betting on Vieira all day. I just don't trust these bitches to grapple and stuff,
Yeah, you can't. That's one thing. You can never trust a big butt and a smile, and you can't trust these bitches to grapple, Brady. And that's 2 things that I've learned in my 52 years walking this earth.
What you can't trust, though, is the WikiFeet scores. And let me tell you,
okay,
Jacqueline Cavalcanti has one of the worst WikiFeet scores I think I've seen in some time. I mean, they give you a 4 for putting your name on the website.
Yeah.
She had a 3.79 rating.
Oof.
She's got some basketball feet, man. I mean, oh gosh.
Yeah, like looks like Shaq's big toe.
Yeah, she's got. Oh gosh, God help us. So maybe I should change my pick. But Vieira's her feet aren't much better. I mean, 4.03. It's nothing to write home about either. So yeah, probably a dog or pass. If Vieira comes in here with the right game plan, yeah, she's very live actually.
Yeah, great.
Okay.
And you know what? And Brady, one last thing. A lot of people did think, including me, that the end of Lorenzo Lamas's acting career would have been his seminal show, Renegade. But he's proving that he has one more act left in the chamber of his gun. And now he's fighting in the women's 135-pound division in the UFC. And he's got a 9-5 record. So Lorenzo Lamas, shout out. Renegade, shout out. He's still putting asses in the seats, even at his advanced age, Brady.
Yep. Speaking of ass, Vieira is also on OnlyFans. I don't know what we can really do with that information, though.
It's just I feel like it has to be like, you know, watch me train, jiu-jitsu seminars. Otherwise, I don't really know where I'm going from here.
Yeah, that's
brutal.
It's brutal. Yeah, this is the most WMMA fight of all time, for sure. I laugh so hard every time Weezy dogs Ron McCarthy, as he should dog him. Are Weezy and Mara married? No.
I might as well be with as much money as that bitch cost me.
I'm confident that Ketlin has a thick, unshaved bush. I wish we could bet on that because I'd bet on that for sure. If your last name is Cornhole, you have no choice but to learn how to fight. Not an option. Yeah. Agreed. What's Shaq's wiki feet? Let's look it up. Oh, let's see. Shaquille O'Neal, 117 photos. Oh my gosh.
Is it below a 3?
Yes. It's a 2.45. God. Oh no, don't look at the don't look at the pictures. Don't look at the pictures. No. That's horrible. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
that is terrible.
God.
A 2.45 is ridiculous. Like he should go to prison for a rating like that. That is absolutely nuts. All right, Weezy. So Gant, is it Gant or Gaunt?
Gant, I think.
Gant. Yeah, I think so too. So Gant got a new opponent. He's gonna be minus 1,000, I'm assuming, but we didn't look into that, so we can just skip it. Yeah, Gant's an absolute beast. Looking forward to him making his debut. But we can talk about, oh my God, it just gets worse and worse.
Let's go.
My goodness. We got Ivan Erslon going against Tokos. We got Erslon, 34 years old, 6'2" with a 72-inch reach. Tokos, 35 years old, 6'4" with a 76-inch reach. We got Erslon 1 year younger. Tokos with a 2-inch height advantage and a 4-inch reach advantage. Tokos is 3-2 in his last 5 fights. Made his debut against Omar C. Got subbed in the first round. Lost the decision to Aljamain Sterling, or Navajo Sterling, and then submitted Junior Tafa. As far as Ivan Erslon, he has 1-4 in his last 5 fights. Made his debut against Iwan Kudalaba, lost that fight by decision. Lost the decision to Navajo Sterling, and then lost by submission to Jimmy Crute. So it's kind of interesting that Erslon's minus 200, Weezy, because he hasn't really shown a ton in the UFC. I mean, he got ran through by Jimmy Crute. The Sterling fight was semi-competitive in the first round or so, but Sterling started taking over and beat him up down the stretch. And then the Kudalaba fight was, kind of competitive, 50-50 for the most part. But yeah, he's minus 200 here, and he doesn't have a UFC win, which is interesting. But Tokos is coming off of a win against a Junior Tafa in one of the nastiest, sloppiest, ugliest, greasiest fights I've ever seen. I mean, he was kind of getting his ass whooped on the feet, and then ended up getting a takedown in round 2, and then Junior Tafa just had nothing left and got subbed. But I don't know, man. Both these guys are kind of rough, but I'm not a big fan of Tuco Tokos. He's going to need to get this fight down to the ground, and we saw Crute just exploit the ground game of Erslon, but I mean, that's Jimmy Crute. I mean, I don't think Tokos is anywhere near the grappling of Jimmy Crute. On the feet, I definitely favor Erslon, but yeah, Tokos, his path would be grappling here. What are your thoughts on this fight?
Yeah, man. I think Tuco is going to try to grapple. Erslon's a solid striker, but he to be honest, man, he's just nothing special. You know, I mean, like Iwan Kutalaba pretty easily won rounds 1 and 2. I'm not sure which judge gave Erslon round 1 or 2 there because Erslon got a takedown early in round 3, and because Iwan had won rounds 1 and 2, he kind of just held him on top of him for the rest of the round and didn't even try to get up. So yeah, I haven't seen much from Erslon yet at this level. His last win is Bogdan Ganidko, and he's lost 4 out of his last 5 fights.
Oh God.
So yeah, I mean, like it's hard to back him at minus 200 here, but it's like even with Tokos coming off of a win, which was solid. I mean, it was a good win, but it's against Junior Tafa. If you can't out grapple that dude, you don't belong here at all. And anybody's a step up from Tafa when it comes to the grappling. So is Tokos going to be able to have any kind of success with his wrestling, with his top control, with his Brazilian jiu-jitsu? I mean, he couldn't do it against Navajo Sterling, who's fairly new to MMA and is a pure striker. Obviously, Omar C, that's a very tough matchup. And then prior to that, he's fighting on the regional scene. He got knocked out by Zhang Min Yang on Road to UFC. Yeah, I mean, like, but Tokos is improving, dude. I think he is getting better at this point. He's been training over at VFS. He's best friends with Brendan Allen, who's been training at VFS as well. They're getting in a lot of good work over there. It's a really solid camp. So maybe he's making improvements here. I think this fight probably plays out fairly close, though. I just don't see where Ivan Erslon's going to look minus 200 against Tokos anywhere in the fight, but I still think he probably gets his hand raised. I mean, it should be fairly close. Do you see it as a close fight?
I mean, if Tokos is able to get the grappling going, but
I mean, his striking isn't horrible.
Oh,
it's not. You know, like if you watch the Min Yang Zhang fight, he's landing big shots on Zhang. It's just that Zhang's got a brick for a head, so like he just walked through all of it. But I don't know, man. This is a rough one.
This whole card's rough.
Yeah, you got that right, buddy.
Every single fight we've talked about is rough. But yeah, I actually do like Erslon a decent amount here. Just kind of annoying where the line's at. You know, it's minus 200 on even Erslon. It's like you should be getting a much better price. He's lost every fight. What's going on?
Every fight, yeah.
He's 1-4 in his last 5. Why do I have to lay minus 200, Weezy? What are we doing here? Why are these prices so bad? I don't get it.
I don't know, man. I think I'd rather play Tokos.
Oh, I won't do that, but I won't be laying minus 200 on Erslon.
Well, who do you go for? Do you go for the Greek guy, George Tokos, or do you go for the Croatian guy, Ivan Erslon?
Neither.
Fair enough.
Neither.
They're both beautiful countries with great traditions and history, a rich mythology in Greeks. You know, they gave so many gifts to the world. Croatia's nothing but coastline and beautiful people. I mean, they're two great countries, Brady. Two fantastic countries.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. Big Steve, are you liking Toko? Are you liking the big dog? I don't know. Cortez is a 4.85. That's
Tracy?
Yeah, Tracy Cortez. That's impressive.
Yeah, that is good.
Togas better not be smiling. Does he smile too?
No, I don't. Yeah, he did a little bit. Like he was talking to his corner in the Omar C fight right before he got submitted.
Remember that? Yep.
Yeah, and he was having some fun out there against Min Yang Zhang.
Yeah. We got Etema Trade. What's up, Santio Easy? What is up? Appreciate you, Etema Trade. Why is Brady moaning? I haven't moaned at all this show. New Malcolm Wellmaker interview out. Heck yeah, go check out Mills's interview with Malcolm Wellmaker. He put on 7 pounds of muscle. Okay, there we go. Can't wait to see him back in there. Can we take a moment to appreciate y'all? I had Grant round 3 last week. I've been hitting some of the big stuff, and if it wasn't from y'all's breakdowns, I don't think I'd be able to do it. Appreciate y'all. Yeah, that was a big hit, man. Plus 1,600 for Grant round 3. Congratulations. Grant round 3s, they come through so much. All right, let's move on to the next fight. Oh, God, it keeps getting worse and worse. Wheezy. I mean, this is the kind of, I guess a step up, but this is bad. We had Nikolai Veretennikov going against Chaos Williams. We got Veretinnikov, 36 years old, 6'1" with a 74-inch reach. Chaos Williams, 32 years old, 6 foot with a 77-inch reach. Williams 4 years younger. Veretinnikov with a 1-inch height advantage and a 3-inch reach disadvantage. Veretinnikov is 2-3 in his last 5 fights. He had a decision loss against Danny Barlow, knockout loss to Austin Vanderford, decision win against Francisco Prado, decision loss to Puna Soriano, and then a knockout win against Nico Price. As far as Chaos Williams, 2-3 in his last 5 fights. Decision loss against Randy Brown, decision win against Rolando Bedoya, knockout win against Carlston Harris, submission loss to Gabriel Bonfim, and then a decision loss to Andreas Gustafsson. So I always talk crap about Veretinnikov. Like, I'm not high on this guy at all. But what I'll say about Veretinnikov, when he looks bad, and he has it a lot, he looks bad in a lot of fights. When he looks bad, it's because people are grappling him, Wheezy. He looked god-awful against Puna Soriano. He looked god-awful against Austin Vanderford. He looked god-awful against Francisco Prado, but all 3 of those guys were wrestling and grappling with him. Chaos Williams, Wheezy, has yet to land a takedown in the UFC, so Veretinnikov is going to get the fight he wants. And Chaos Williams, you look at his Instagram, he's into real estate. I mean, real estate is a horrible base for MMA. We've seen people that are into real estate just do awful in there. So he's into real estate. He's got stuff going on outside of fighting. It wasn't too long ago when this was the guy, Williams, who was training in a Planet Fitness. Like, you scroll through his Instagram, and you'll see videos of him literally training at a Planet Fitness. And I went and back and checked it out, and somebody commented, like, man, times are tough training at Planet Fitness. And it got like a bunch of likes. I'm like, dang. But yeah, he was training in Planet Fitness for his fights a couple months ago. Not a couple years ago at this point. It looks like he is doing some work with like Justin Gaethje and Kamaru Usman this time around. So I don't think he's training in Planet Fitness this time. But I don't know, Weezy. I think it's going to be a very competitive fight. Both guys have solid power. Veretinnikov has really good kicks, really good striking. But Veretinnikov is going to actually get the fight he wants. So another very closely lined fight, and I get it. But I kind of lean Veretinnikov, actually. You know, it wasn't too long ago when Chaos Williams lost to Rolando Bedoya, but they gifted him a win. I thought Bedoya beat him in that fight. I thought Bedoya outworked him over the 15 minutes. And Bedoya stinks, dude. So I kind of lean Veretinnikov, as ugly as it is. I'm not betting it because I would never bet this guy. But as far as a pick, I kind of lean his way because he's plus money. But yeah, another disgusting fight. I don't want anything to do with this one. What are your thoughts, Weezy?
Yeah, they just added this like less than a week ago, right? This is a fairly new fight to the card.
Oh, God.
I feel like this is like less than 2 weeks notice for both guys, I feel like. But I might be wrong about that.
No, I think you're right.
I think I had to add this to the stat product like a little bit later because of the late ad of this fight. Yeah, Chaos. When was the last time Chaos fought? It was it's been 11 months. And I mean, it looked like he got all of his ribs broken in that fight. Man, I mean, Andreas Gustafsson held him up against the cage and beat 7 shades of shit out of that poor man for the full 15 minutes. I cannot believe that Chaos Williams made it 15 minutes in that fight. And like you said, dude, Veretinnikov's got good striking. It's his grappling game where he loses minutes and where he gets kind of like outworked, but that's not going to happen in this fight. Chaos Williams doesn't wrestle. Chaos is going to look to land big shots on the feet too. So I think that these guys are going to be very well matched. I think the line is around where it should be. But yeah, man, we talked about that, dude. Your Planet Fitness.
Oh,
I mean, like I said, that's the closest gym to me, man. And, you know, I've never seen a fighter in there. I promise you that. As a matter of fact, you know what? You remember he's dead now. But the guy that fought Forrest Griffin, he's from Chicago. God damn it. Remember the Forrest Griffin Ultimate Fighter finale against it starts with a B. SB or his initials, I think. He passed away.
God
damn it.
So Bonner.
Stephan Bonner is from Chicago. And during COVID, somebody ratted on him when he was at a Planet Fitness. He's on the elliptical machine and he's got his mask just a little bit below his nose.
Oh
And
god.
somebody rats on him in the Planet Fitness, and he goes fucking ballistic. Calling everybody in there rats, saying that the COVID was bullshit and all this stuff. And he got kicked out. It wound up being a local news story here. Him getting kicked out of a Planet Fitness, Stefan Bonner. But yeah, I mean, like, that's not a good thing if you're training there. And I know Veretennikov, I think he's like a King's MMA guy, or he's somewhere in California. So I think that Veretennikov has been the more active fighter as of late, and I think he's going to get the fight that he wants. And Chaos Williams hasn't fought in 11 months, and I'm just not sure what, the last couple of wins haven't been that impressive. Like you said, he should have lost 4 out of his last 5 fights, with the only win coming against Carlston Harris, who's a bit chinny himself. So, yeah. It's a tough fight, dude. And, and it's short notice for both guys, so it's hard to be confident either way. But I think I'm leaning Veretennikov because I think he's the more complete, more technical striker.
Yes, brutal. Williams minus 128, Veretennikov plus 108. I'm shocked they put the over-under at 1.5, because both these guys are stupid durable, unless you put Veretennikov on his back, and then he stinks. But
yeah,
and so Williams is stupid durable too. I don't think Williams has actually ever been knocked out.
No, dude. And remember the beating he took against Gustafsson?
Yeah, so I actually like the over a lot at minus 160.
I do too. I think that this fight does go over, and isn't it plus money, not minus?
No, it's minus 160.
Oh, the over 1.5. Oh, yeah, the fight goes is plus 130, and my model really likes the overs here too.
Yep. So yeah, I like it. Yeah, that's the one exception. Aljo Sterling, that is the one exception. There's always an exception, that's one of them.
Ally Quinter, and then there's what was the Benito Lopez? Wasn't
Lopez.
he? He was a realtor as well. So yeah, there's some good MMA realtor crossovers things going on.
Oh no, we only have 56 likes. Oh gosh.
It's we're lucky we got that many with this card.
Yeah, maybe we can sneak in 100 by the time we get done with this one. Have we talked about the Gant fight? Yes, we're both going Gant. R.I.P. to the GOAT. Yeah, R.I.P.
He died really young, man. It's a fucking shame.
Let's see the promo code for underdog signups. Yeah, we there it is. DFS BTN. We got a sign up over the on the fight companion, which was sweet.
Nice.
Chaos Williams is real estate now. He doesn't care for fighting anymore, and you can tell. Yeah, and people got stuff going on outside of UFC for sure. We need some more likes. Agreed. All right, let's keep moving on. Let's move on to the next fight. Okay, this is something. We got Timmy Kwamba going against Bernardo Sopai. We got Kwamba, 27 years old, 5'9", with a 71-inch reach. Sopai, 25 years old, 5'6", with a 66-inch reach. Sopai, 2 years younger. Kwamba with a 3-inch height advantage and a 5-inch reach advantage. Kwamba is 3-2 in his last 5 fights. Decision loss to Balaji Oki. Decision loss to Lucas Almeida. Knockout win against Roberto Romero. And then a decision win against Chung Ho Lee. As far as Sopai, 4-1 in his last 5 fights. Made his debut against Vinicius Oliveira. Lost that fight by knockout. Decision win against Ricky Tercios. This is the one I haven't taped yet, Weezy, so I'll kick it to you. But Kwamba is at Extreme Couture, so maybe we should smash the over.
Oh, man. Yeah, maybe smash the over. He looks like a good prospect to me, man. I bet on him last time out against Chang Ho Lee, and he looked great in that fight. Knocked out Roberto Romero, and I think I had a little bit of action on Romero in that fight and was really impressed by Kwamba's performance. He made his UFC debut at 155 pounds against Bolaji Oki. The next fight was against Lucas Almeida down at 145. He lost 2 out of the 3 rounds of that fight. And then he's put together 2 wins in a row. I think the Romero fight was also at 145, and then he moved down to 135 in his last fight. Bernardo Sopai's on a 1 year and 3 month layoff here. So I don't like that for him. But he's only 25 years old. So depending on whether there were missed fights, injuries, or whether it's just kind of like an extended absence to work on your skill set, we could see a better version of Bernardo here. This is a very close fight in my opinion, and I definitely need to look further into it. But Sopai's probably had the tougher matchups at the UFC level, though, but he's only got 2 fights here, while Kawamba's got 4, and Kawamba's taken fights up at 145 and 155, and looking good enough in those fights. He's winning a round against Bolagioki. He wins a round against Lucas Almeida. And then he knocks out Romero and has a really good-looking performance against Chang Ho Lee. So I think Kawamba's improving. I think he's finally at the right weight class. He's 27 years old. He's been in Vegas for a long time working with all the fighters there. And Sopai is a All-Stars Training Center guy from Sweden, originally from Albania. And, yeah, he's a very good prospect, but it's a long way off here between the Tokos fight, which happened in January of 2025, and this fight, which is May of 2026. So long layoff here for Sopai. I liked what I've seen from him on tape. He mixes in the grappling. He's got a little bit of power. And he was beating Vinicius Oliveira until he gassed out, and that was a short notice opportunity for him. Had to fly to Abu Dhabi. All that stuff was a little bit of a rough debut to have on short notice, but this kid does look to be improving, but the long way off does worry me a little bit. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this fight. I see that the line on this right now is Kawamba plus 140, Bernardo Sopai minus 160. I would rather play the plus money at plus 140 there for Kawamba because he's been more active recently. I think he's finally in the right weight class. And I like his boxing. It's pretty good, man. So I think that this is probably going to play out really close.
Yep. Gaines minus 170 against Artur Miniev. I don't know if you were joking about him being minus 1,000. Tristan, the fight got announced after the show started. When am I going to have time to look into it? Of course, I'm joking. But that's interesting. So I guess Miniev must be decent then if Gant's only minus 170.
Yeah, I'll have to watch this guy. I've seen a few Fury FC events, but most of the time I'm just kind of like taping the fighters.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's I don't remember this guy. I don't remember watching him fight. But if he's knocking dudes out cold, then yeah, I could see why minus 170. But Gant is just such an aggressive wrestler. The guy really doesn't leave a lot of time for his opponents to be able to strike against him. So I don't know. I'll have to look further into that one.
Where's the line on that open at, Tristan? I don't see it. Minus 170. I don't know. Morning to you as well. We got Dravi. What's up? I just finished looking into this fight. What does the model say for the over 2.5 rounds? Wheezy.
So minus 185 for the over 2.5. That's overpriced by about 4.6% when you compare it to the long-term trend for the division. Only 6 total fights for these guys at this level, but 5 of those 6 UFC fights have finished under 2.5 rounds. So my model in a small sample size feels that the bet isn't very overpriced, considering that there's a lot of fights that have finished under 2.5 rounds. So that model likes it. And then let me look at my other model here real quick and just see what the decision props add up to. For 519 and where is it? Tokos, Ardolene, Choy, Wellmaker, Wells, Ogden. I can't find the fight right. Oh, there it is. Kawamba Sopai. About 50% is what my decision props are adding up to for that. So, wow. Yeah. It like my other model says that it should finish inside the distance about half the time. While this model here says that it should go to decision about 2/3 of the time.
There you go. Yeah, I'd lean over just because Kawamba's Extreme Couture, and every Extreme Couture fighter goes over. Every single one, no matter who it is, Weezy, they all go over.
They do, man. They're patient.
Yeah, I see Gant minus 150 now, so people are probably gonna be crap saying Gant was minus 1,000. I don't know who Miniev is. I don't know if it's Miniev or Miniev. On Tapology it says Miniev with an I, but people are saying
IEV.
Yeah, on that's what Tapology is, but people are saying it's Miniev.
Okay.
Looking into Miniev, his wrestling defense is not great in my opinion. Pike fight is a terrible look. You have to look into it. after the show, but it's hard to look into fights during the show is the problem.
It's so hard.
It's very hard to look into fights
It's
during
really
the show.
difficult, man.
It's very hard. I don't know if you got it's very hard. The odds are gonna flip. Gant's gonna be an underdog. Okay, that's wild. Fair enough, man.
He better be able to stop takedowns if he's gonna fight Gant. I haven't seen Gant box at all on tape.
There we go. There we go. All right, let's keep moving on, guys. We got. Oh God.
Yes.
God help us all.
Let's go.
God help us all. What's your take on the? Oh, I just taped it during the show. I think Gant should be around -150 to -200. I was taping it during the intro. Anyway, God, Modestas Bukovksas versus Rodolfo Bato. We got Bukovksas, 32 years old, 6'3" with a 78-inch reach. Bato, 30 years old, 6'3" with a 75-inch reach. We got Bato 2 years younger. We got Bukovksas with a 3-inch height advantage. Bukovksas is 4-1 in his last 5 fights. Submission win against Prochino, knockout win against Cerqueira, decision win against Kudalaba, knockout win against Craig, and a knockout loss against Nikita Krylov. As far as Bato, he is 3-1 and 1 draw in his last 5 fights, a knockout win against Ihor Peteria, a draw against Jimmy Crute, no contest against no contest against Paul Craig, my bad. A decision loss against Sterling, and then a knockout win against Luke Fernandez. I mean, this is probably we've talked about so many. This is the worst fight on the card. We talked about so many bad fights. This is the worst fight on the card. It's horrible. Pass. What are your thoughts?
I don't think it's bad, man. It's a Rodolfo Bato fight. So, like I said, Bukovksas is definitely like, watching a bureaucrat work at the DMV. But
I can't name one good Bukovksas fight. I truly
come
can't.
on, man. What are you talking about,
Not
dude?
one.
He choked a guy out with an arm triangle from the wrong side against Marcin Prokno. You never see that at the UFC level. And you're saying the guy's never been in a good fight? When do you ever see an arm triangle from the wrong side?
Oh, I had money on.
You couldn't finish that against a white belt.
I had money on Bukovksas in that fight.
This
fight
guy Bukovksas is out there looking like Rodolfo Vieira from top position against Marcin Prokno, and you have the audacity, the temerity to say that he's not an exciting fighter. Unbelievable, Brady. This is beyond the pale, even for you.
Yeah, that fight stunk. All his fights have been pretty bad. Wait, no. The Crute fight was fun. The Crute fight when Crute took his head off twice. That was fun.
Oh yeah, that's right. He nuked him. I remember that one. That was great.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, so like Bato just got a win over Fernandez. He's got a win over Ihor Peteria after almost getting knocked out by that dude. Bato just hasn't shown much, man. He's really poor defensively. He's kind of a jiu-jitsu guy, but with not great wrestling. He's very hittable on the feet, but he's extremely durable, and he hits pretty hard. And that's one thing we can't say for Bukovksas. Bukovksas is not durable for this division, and he doesn't have a ton of power either. So I kind of feel like, God, it sounds crazy to say that Bukovksas is a better minute winner than anybody because the guy does jack shit. But he might actually be the better minute winner here against Bato at distance striking range. Oh, God. Maybe this is a bad fight. Maybe you were right all along and I was talking out of my ass.
It's terrible.
God damn it. Like sometimes I just try to be a contrarian, Anyway, I feel like this will be Bukovksas by decision because Bato is extremely durable and Bukovksas not really much of a finisher unless he's fighting really low-level guys. Or it'll be maybe a Bato finish just because I think he's the better moment winner, and I think Bukovksas is like the more technical guy, more capable of maybe winning the minutes if this thing doesn't get turned into a brawl.
Yeah, I'm kind of shocked the overs plus money with these two.
Yeah, because like I don't like Balato's finished both of his UFC wins, but against who? Ihor Peteria, who almost finished him, and then Luke Fernandez was looking great, and then he just got caught.
Yeah, Yeah. Yeah, Eileen Bellato he just does a lot more. I don't think he's particularly skilled, but he just does a lot more than Modestus. Yeah,
Yeah,
this is
yeah,
bad.
he does a lot more getting hit in the face. I'll tell you that right now.
But Modestus doesn't throw enough to hit him in the face enough.
That is very true. You have to throw in order to land.
You have to throw in order to land.
It's like the lottery. You know, you're not going to win that shit unless you play it. But if you play it, you're a dumbass because you're working against the math.
So you see, if Bukovksas shows some urgency, but has he ever shown urgency? He did when I had, he did show urgency when I had the over in the Craig fight. He showed urgency there.
I think I had the over. That's the only over you've bet in the last 3 years, and I think I was on it too.
Yeah, and then he showed urgency there with that ground and pound, but outside of that, no urgency.
Disgusting.
Yeah, Bellato is the GOAT. Oh God.
The WOAT. The worst of all time.
Can't believe I'm saying this, but Brundage and Bellato both by KO 2-leg parlay. That'll pay out big time. Roundtree fight, that was cool. Roundtree destroyed his leg though. Kind of felt bad for Modestus there.
That was a bad one for Modestus. Yeah.
Yeah, fight with Roundtree was cool. Yeah, Roundtree was whooping on him. That was fun. Modestus by Weasel. He is the biggest Weasel. I was telling Weezy, his decision wins. I thought he lost all 3 of them. He beat Iwan Kudalaba by decision. I thought that was
I had money on Kudalaba that fight. I thought he won it, but it was, I wasn't mad because it was close.
I thought that was a horrible scorecard. The Pedro fight was close. You can give it to Modestus, I suppose. The Palga fight was very, very close as well. And he's the only person in history, Weezy, to not hurt Zach Palga.
Yeah, man. I know. Crazy, dude.
Yeah, it's bad. I love Uncle Weezy so much. There you go. You got a big fan there in the chat. God. Oh, God. I'm going to go ultra light on this card, but I'm still going to tune in for the fight companion. If I have more than 5 units on this card, it's going to be a big mistake. Just beer, no more cigarettes for Keith Peterson. No, Keith Peterson's on all the beer and cigarettes. Man, I lost a few grand on that over. Yeah, it's like the one time Modesta shows some urgency against Craig. It was disgusting, and
it was close. Or wait, didn't that end right at the end of round 1 with 1 second left or something?
Yeah, it ended after the round was over actually because Craig couldn't really get up.
I remember that.
It was cruising
brutal
over.
Brutal ground and pound. I remember.
Yeah, but it was cruising over until the last 5 seconds. All right, Weez, let's keep moving on to the next fight. Finally, this is probably the first good card on the card. No, I think it's probably the best fight we've talked about thus far. Malcolm Wellmaker going against Juan Diaz. This is gonna be a good one. We got Wellmaker, 31 years old, 5'10", with a 71-inch reach. Juan Diaz, 27 years old, 5'8", with a 69-inch reach. Diaz is 4 years younger. Wellmaker has a 2-inch height advantage and a 2-inch reach advantage. Wellmaker 4-1 in his last 5 fights. Had a knockout on the Contender Series against poor Adam Bromhold. A knockout win in his debut against Cameron Simon. A knockout win against Chris Moutinho, and then a decision loss against Ethan Ewing. As far as Juan Diaz, 5-0 in his last 5 fights. Had a Contender Series win, 2nd round knockout. Looks pretty good there. Yeah, I like both these guys, but I feel like this is a good bounce back spot for Malcolm Wellmaker. I mean, I went back and watched the Wellmaker Ewing fight. Some of the shots he was landing on Ewing knock out half of the division. Ethan Ewing just has, I think, pound for pound, the biggest head in maybe UFC history.
Yeah.
And Ethan Ewing was eating some big shots where I was like, dang, how did he eat that? I don't think a lot of guys are eating those shots. Juan Diaz, though, he's never been knocked out. He does seem like a tough guy. Does have some solid hands and really good boxing. But I just think there's going to be a massive power difference. The one thing I would worry about with a Wellmaker here is Diaz will go to the grappling and mix in the takedowns. And that could be a path there for Diaz. But yeah, I kind of feel like it's a bounce back spot for Wellmaker. Weezy, what are your thoughts on this fight here?
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing when I was watching that fight. Wellmaker landed a right hook that he had knocked out everybody with prior to that, and Ewing just ate it like nothing. And I mean, that guy's got a head like a Muppet. His ears actually point out past his shoulders, and it's when you got a head that big, you're probably not even walking until you're 4 or 5 years of age, because you get off plumb just a little bit, you're going down like a totem pole. So And I mean, I watched the tape on this Diaz, and there were some huge red flags for me. First of all, the guy's fighting in Lux Fight League, which means he's fighting some of the lowest level opposition that you could possibly fight. Second of all, he's coming nowhere close to finishing these bums that he's fighting. Like, you want to tape Juan Diaz properly, you better have like 2 fucking hours, Brady. Because this guy's been 5 rounds like 3 times against nobodies, dude. Jose Rora twice. He goes, like, I think one of the fights went to decision, and I think the other one maybe went into the 4th or 5th round. You know, Uriel Casio, he goes to decision with. That's a 5-round fight. He fights this guy, Abraham Nava, who looks like he's 50 and took the fight on less than a week's notice. And he goes to decision with this guy and never lands anything of consequence. And I'm sitting there going, I'm watching the tape on this guy, and I'm like, they keep talking about his jiu-jitsu like it's really good. Mm-hmm. And then I looked at his record. He's got 15 wins, 2 wins by submission. So really, you can't submit like 4 and 8 Mexican fighters and you got good jiu-jitsu? Where does he beat Wellmaker?
Somebody said volume.
I think this guy's going to get his head punted into the cheap seats. And then I think the crowd is going to like put it on a pike and pass it around the apex like some kind of a weird cotton candy stick. I don't like this fight for Diaz at all. This guy, I mean, I did not see anything on tape, and I watched like an hour of footage. And it was late at night, and I was like, I got to go to bed. These fights are boring as fuck. He's not doing anything. I need to go watch the Contender Series fight. My Watch MMA full for some reason. Sometimes it doesn't work some days, and that was when I couldn't watch the fight against Wong Tu Quan. What?
That's his name, yeah.
Yeah, Wong Tu Quan. So I didn't see that. So I need to see that knockout because I'm like, wow, he knocked somebody out.
It's a good knockout. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I agree. I like Wellmaker here too. I think it could be a potential parlay piece, but I mean, there's nothing to parlay him with. Do I parlay him with Nicole Caliari?
God.
Do I parlay him with Alice
Ardolene by decision?
Do I parlay him with Andre Petroski? Do I parlay him with Jacqueline Cavalcanti? Do I parlay him with Ivan Erslon? Do I parlay him with... Yeah, you can't parlay him with anything. So, and then you maybe look at the knockout prop, but it's like, oh, you know, it sucks betting a knockout prop against a guy that's never been finished because we don't know. Like, Diaz could be like a super durable guy, and Wellmaker can drop him, and it could go to decisions. So, and Wellmaker actually has quite a few decisions too. So, yeah, I like Wellmaker, but I just don't really see a way to play it unless I can find another parlay piece. So I'm right there with you.
I think you just lay the juice, honestly.
Oh,
I mean,
you could.
Yeah, I know it hurts, but I mean, I do need to watch more Diaz because, like, I still feel like I'm missing something. I'm like, why the hell is this guy here?
I know what you're talking about.
You know, like, so what? You're Lux Fight League champion. I mean, like, these guys are nobodies.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't get it.
Ooh, yeah, I don't know who Artur Maniv is. But apparently he's good, so I can't wait to check him out. Remember they're trying to bring Kim Wenzel back. They should. Good night, Juan. Good night. Good night. Pass. My girlfriend called Wellmaker Mini Morales. I can see that. Wellmaker needs a W. I mean, it'd be nice to bounce back for sure. For sure. Diaz has more volume. He does have solid volume when he lets his hands go, but there are like moments of inactivity in some of his fights. I know we were talking about Wheezy. Give us the insider info. Dan half the battle. He kind of just did. He said goodnight, Juan.
Yeah.
And it makes sense. I mean, Wellmaker has some of the best power in the division. This guy hits like a truck.
Yeah.
Caliari parlay. Yeah, that's what people are doing with this. That's what it looks like. But I don't know. Could I interest you in parlaying some incredibly low level MMA? Yeah, what could go wrong?
Yeah, right.
What could go wrong? If Wellmaker doesn't win this fight, him being on this card makes sense, though. He should win this fight, I would think. Wellmaker's a great parlay piece. Yeah. All right, let's keep moving on to the next fight, and it is going to be the co-main event. Yes, we're at the co-main event. Yes. Duho Choy going against Daniel Santos. Weezy, this is the best fight on the card by a mile. This is the main event. This is the main event right here.
Agreed.
Phenomenal fight. We got Duho Choy going against Daniel Santos. We got Duho Choy, 35 years old, 5'10", with a 70-inch reach. We got Daniel Santos, 31 years old, 5'7", with a 67-inch reach. Santos 4 years younger. Choy with a 3-inch height advantage and a 3-inch reach advantage. Duho Choy is 2-1 draw in his last 5 fights. Knockout loss to Jeremy Stevens back in 2018. Knockout loss to Charles Jourdain back in 2019. A draw against Kyle Nelson. And by the way, that was the only boring fight ever for Duho Choy, that Kyle Nelson fight. Thank you, Kyle Nelson, for that. Knockout win against Bill Algeo. A knockout win against Nate Landwehr. As far as Daniel Santos, 4-1 in his last 5 fights. Decision loss against Julio Arce in his debut. Knockout win against John Castaneda. Decision win against Johnny Munoz Jr. Decision win against Jung Young Lee. And then a knockout win against Jusung Yu. So yeah, Weezy, these are 2 very exciting fighters. Never in a boring fight outside of the Kyle Nelson fight, but that's Kyle Nelson's fault, not his. Never in a boring fight. These guys are going to go at it, Weezy, like 2 rats in a shoe. What are your thoughts on this co-main event?
Yeah, that's hilarious because I was just about to read my summary, and because I wrote this fight up and I gave out a free bet on Twitter earlier today, and literally the first sentence of the summary is, these guys are going to fight like 2 rats in a shoe, and I can't wait to see it. This is phenomenal matchmaking because both of these guys are well-rounded fighters with exciting styles. Choy, he's 2 wins, 0 losses, and 1 draw since coming back from his mandatory military service in South Korea. And he brings a 2-fight win streak into this fight. Both of them finishes, a knockout win over Bill Algeo and a 3rd-round knockout win over Nate Landwehr. Now, Willie Catch Santos, he took 2 years off between the Munoz and the Lee fights due to injuries and botched weight cuts. And now he's moved up to 145 pounds, and he still appears to be having massive problems with the scales. Willie Catch had to missed weight against Jun Yong Lee and had to go back for the hour grace period to get back in the sauna to make weight up a weight class for that fight. And then you're like, okay, he won't do it again. Dude, this guy pulls a John Castaneda and calls Ju Sang Yu's camp the night before the fight and requests 153-pound catch weight, Brady.
Oh, God.
Daniel Santos is a bantamweight.
Yeah.
Why the hell is he fucking weighing in at 153 pounds? And Ju Sang Yu should have told him no. I don't know what he was thinking there, but he took the fight and wound up getting knocked out. So this is going to be a really fun one because Daniel Santos is extremely durable, extremely aggressive, always on the front foot, always throwing in combination. He mixes in the wrestling. He's just a scrapper, dude. I love watching Willie Cat fight. And then Duho Choy, dude, he's so much cleaner than Willie Catch. He hits harder than Willie Catch. He's much bigger, much stronger, much more physical. He's faced the better brand of competition at this level, and he really showed an underrated ground game that Santino DeFranco told us before the Nate Landwehr fight how impressed he was with Duho Choy's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu when he trained for a while over at Fight Ready. So this is going to be a great fight, man. The rest of the write-up that I had here was that Willie Catch is on a 4-fight win streak. He's cashed as an underdog twice over that stretch. So both he and Choy are bringing some solid momentum into this fight. Santos is the younger fighter. He's extremely durable in game, and his pressure-heavy style is perfect for his combination of attributes. The fact that he's durable, the fact that he has really good conditioning, and the fact that he's got a lot of heart and forward pressure, that fits perfectly into the style with which he fights. But he's defensively irresponsible and inaccurate because he loads up on everything that he throws. But his durability allows him to be able to eat big shots and recover quickly while he looks to break you with his pressure and his power. Choy has been in some wars, and he's been knocked out in 2 of his 4 losses. So Santos is going to be live to catch Choy with big shots in the wild multi-punch combos he puts together. But I think Choy is going to be the much cleaner and more dangerous striker while this fight is on the feet. Choy is so much bigger, stronger, cleaner, more accurate. And I think Santos's defensive irresponsibility is really going to cost him bigly while this fight is on the feet. So I can see both guys having grappling success, but Santos's lack of size and physicality limits his upside in the grappling exchanges against an opponent we saw rinse Nate Landwehr on the mat in his last fight. Now, Daniel Willie Catch Santos is a very durable fighter, so I do think that Doo-Ho Choi's most likely path to victory is going to be a decision, but a finish certainly isn't out of the question due to how hittable Santos is and how hard Doo-Ho Choy hits. But I'm going to pick Doo-Ho Choy to win this fight by decision. And my favorite bets, Brady, Doo-Ho Choy money line, which I played for 1 unit at plus 123, got reverse CLV'd up my ass about 10 minutes after I made that bet. And I also placed a half unit bet on Doo-Ho Choy to win by decision at plus 450.
Yep. Congrats on your reverse CLV, which is a good thing in MMA. Reverse CLV is the best. Yeah, it's gonna be a phenomenal fight. I was kind of surprised to see they priced the fight as a good decision at minus 180. I feel like this goes the distance. I feel like it's gonna be one of those wars where it's like, how the hell did that go to decision? You know?
Yeah, you cashed the bet, but it was a horrible bet because both guys get carried out on stretchers.
On top of that, Santos is probably gonna miss weight here.
I know, unbelievable.
Probably ends up being a catch weight, right?
He might pull a John Castaneda. We call that the Castaneda catch weight, where you call your opponent the night before the fight and you be like, I'm not going to make weight and I'm not going to fight. But if you accept a catch weight up 5 pounds, I'll show up and you'll get your show check. Pretty smooth.
Makes no sense. Like, this guy looks so weird at featherweight. He's clearly not a featherweight. He's a bantamweight. And now he's missing weight. It's so weird to me, but he's really good. I mean, he's a really good fighter. So whatever works for him. That's the big narrative this week. And apparently he's the Korean killer.
Yeah, Daniel Santos does not like Korean people. I'm hearing that through channels. You know, I mean, like Junyong Lee, Ju Sang Yu, and now Doo-Ho Choy. He only fights dudes with 3 names, and the first 2 names in that 3-name sentence need to be hyphenated. Otherwise, this guy's not fighting you.
It's crazy. Like, they're forcing Daniel Santos to fight all the Korean feather. It's wild.
Daniel Santos is forcing the matchmakers to give him every Korean on the roster. He wants to clean them all out. Then he's going to Japan and then China.
Let's go. I missed the most, and I missed a great bet option. Yeah, he missed a couple. We both like Caliari at minus 255. We both like Ardolene at minus 195. We both like Cody Brundage at plus 170.
Yes, we do.
We don't mind Vieira at plus 135. We both love Ivan Erslon, who is 1-4 in his last 5 fights at minus 190. We both love Veretinikov, who sucks. And I think Weezy likes Bukovksas.
Bukovksas decision.
And then Weezy likes Weezy likes Doo-Ho Choy. I think we covered all of it, but yeah, we're liking a lot this week. It's gonna be a great week. I'm just kidding. Don't bet any of that. Santos is an easy peak. Yeah, money is pouring in on Santos for sure. So we'll see. I can't believe Party Time Schultz cashed the milking of the week and Hamzat didn't. Party Time better than Hamzat. Yeah, give me Party Time over Hamzat, man. At least Party Time can go, into the 3rd round and grapple and get a guillotine on the 30th try, man. Give me Wes Schultz by guillotine against Hamzat. Who's with me?
My sources are telling me that Hamzat's moving up to 205 to get away from Wes Schultz.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it past me. Wouldn't put it past me. All right. Anyway, let's move on to the main event. Yes. Before we do so, do want to shout out our sponsors one last time. Big shout out to the Big Brain MMA Discord. Big shout out to the Big Brain MMA podcast. Go check it out. Big C put out his breakdown video yesterday. Go check it out. Hit the like, hit the hype, and leave him a comment. Help him out. And then shout out to our other sponsor, Underdog Fantasy. Go to Underdog. Use that code DFSBTN and get $50 free when you play your first $5 lineup. and check out some of the boosts they have going on as well. All right, Weezy, Arnold Allen, Melquizael Costa. For the main event, we got Arnold Allen, 32 years old, 5'8" with a 70-inch reach. Mel Costa, 29 years old, 5'10" with a 71-inch reach. We got Costa, 3 years younger, 2-inch height advantage and a 1-inch reach advantage. Arnold Allen is 2-3 in his last 5 fights. Knockout win against Kavalcanti, decision loss against Holloway, decision loss against Evloev, decision win against Giga, and then a decision loss to Gene Silva. As far as Costa, 5-0 in his last 5 fights. Submission win against Andre Fili, decision win against Rodriguez, decision win against Erosa, knockout win against Charrier, and then a knockout win against Dan Ige. Yeah, I don't know about this main event. Like, I don't know. I feel like my main event's the fight we just talked about, Santos Choy. I don't know. Is it going to be exciting? It's an Arnold Allen fight. I don't know. I've never been high on Arnold Allen, but the fact that this is 5 rounds kind of has me leaning him his way, because Mel Costa, you look at his last 2 fights that went the distance, completely slowed down on the Erosa fight. Lost the Erosa fight, I think, on 2 of 3 judges' scorecards, but he lost the 3rd round. And then against Christian Rodriguez, he lost it in all 3 judges' scorecards. He absolutely lost the 3rd round. This is a 5-round fight, Weezy. This is going to be the first 5-round fight for Mel Costa. Arnold Allen does have 5-round experience. Arnold Allen has fought the much better competition. But like I said, I've never really been high on Arnold Allen, but I think I lean his way. What are your thoughts on this fight, Weezy?
I'm leaning to the Allen side as well, although I don't really like the line. I mean, I don't even remember the last time Arnold Allen looked minus 180 in a fight. Even the Giga fight I thought was really close. I thought Arnold kind of won that round 3 fairly convincingly, but round 1 you could have scored for Giga, maybe even round 2, So you look at the last 5 fights, the Kavalcanti, that was the one where he blew out his knee, right?
Yeah, injury.
Yeah. So we don't even know how that fight would have went. Max Holloway, he loses the first 4 rounds. He loses to Movsar Evloev. But he looks good against Giga. And I think that's a really good fight to watch for this fight, because Giga throws a lot of kicks, as does Costa. Giga will switch stances as well, although he's mostly orthodox. Costa is going to be in that southpaw stance for pretty much the whole fight. So this is going to be a southpaw versus southpaw matchup. And that's something that I've seen when Arnold Allen was fighting opponents that were switching to southpaw. I really liked how Allen's jab looked. Like, you don't really get to see it often because Allen's a southpaw and he's mostly fighting orthodox fighters. But I think Allen might have the better jab. I like the fact that this is in the small cage because Costa throws a lot of kicks. So he's going to need space, but he's not going to have a lot of room to move in the small cage. And Arnold Allen, in the Holloway fight in round 5, in the Giga fight, even in the Gene Silva fight, was showing really good forward pressure, getting on that front foot. And I think that's going to be important for 2 reasons, Brady. Allen, with the 5-round experience, the guy's never been knocked down or knocked out in the UFC. And he fights with a lot of forward pressure. And I think that's going to work really well because it's going to limit Costa's ability to be able to find the space he needs to get his kicks off. And I think the forward pressure, putting Costa on the back foot, is going to slow him down over 5 rounds. And we've seen Costa slow down, like you mentioned, in the Christian Rodriguez and Julian Erosa fights where he lost round 3. So Allen with a big strength of schedule advantage, with a conditioning advantage, with a durability advantage, with that constant forward pressure. In addition, I love this man's coach. Firas Zahabi is as smart of a coach as there is. He comes up with phenomenal game plans. He knows to have his fighters circling away from power. He knows when they should be mixing in the wrestling. Firas is about as good as it gets. So, but the thing is, like, Costa's on a 6-fight win streak. Allen has lost 3 out of his last 4. Costa's 2.5 years younger, 2 inches taller, 1-inch reach advantage. He's the younger fighter with more positive momentum and career trajectory right now, while Allen is kind of like a top 5, top 8 guy that is not winning, not beating top 5 guys, but also not really like running away with victories either. So it's kind of hard to get to minus 200 on Allen, even though I do think he wins this fight. I think it's going to be a decision, but I just wouldn't be surprised to see him get a finish in rounds 3, 4, or 5 either. that pressure, the power that he throws with. I could see him maybe getting Costa out of there because Costa's been finished in both of his UFC losses.
Yeah, maybe we could see a late finish. Allen's like really low volume though. Like really
Yeah,
low volume.
he is. He is low volume, but he does pressure a lot though. When he's on the front foot, he does throw with intention, and I like that. And I think that's going to work really well because if you just stand in front of Mel and let him kind of get his kicks off and manage the range without getting him on his back foot, I think Costa would pick him apart. If I hadn't seen Allen consistently pressuring on tape, I think I'd be picking Costa to win this fight. But I do see Allen pressuring, and I think that's going to be very important in the small cage against a guy that throws as many kicks as Costa does.
Yeah. The knock I've always had on Allen is the volume. It's brutal, and then I think his power is super overrated. He has one knockout in the UFC, and he's been in the UFC for like 11 years, 12, I think 11 or 12 years he's been in the UFC. He has one knockout, Weezy, and it was against Dan Hooker when Dan Hooker came down a weight class for some reason.
Yeah, he looked great in that fight. But yeah, 3 knockdowns, but here's the important thing. He's absorbed 0.
He's durable.
He's very durable. He's got excellent conditioning, and I think he fights smart. He knows how to kind of cleanly win a round where he outstrikes you by 3 significant strikes. If that makes sense, you know.
No, it does. He's savvy.
Yeah.
Savvy, very savvy.
Yeah.
See, kind of lean Allen decision as well. So, as far as Evlev's name looks like Mover Evans to me, kinda. Well, this is a tough one. I can see both sides. If this was a 3-round fight, I think I'd definitely be taking a shot on Mel Costa at these odds.
Yeah, me too.
Allen hasn't won a fight in a while.
The Giga fight,
which that was 2 years ago.
Yeah,
Allen was used as a surfboard. He was used as a surfboard against Gene Silva.
Right.
Remember that. Costa has so much momentum. Call me crazy, but I think that counts. You're not crazy at all for thinking that. He has a lot of momentum. Allen is tough. He's very tough. I see a decision, but guess who else was tough, Weezy? Morgan Charrier was tough. Dan Ige was tough, and he both knocked him out both. So,
dude, it just goes to show you how crazy this sport is that you can knock out Dan Ige and Morgan Charrier back to back, but then when you fight Julian Juicy J. Rosa, who's been knocked out 7 times, you can't get him out of there. I mean, how weird is that, right? And he landed a flush head kick in round 1 too. I'm like, are you kidding me? Rosa ate that? I could not believe that.
Yeah, it was crazy. Crazy. What's good, homies? What's good, man? Late to the party. Not sure if it discussed, but the line for Gant Viniev dropped 15 minutes ago. Gant minus 185. It's been discussed a little bit, but don't have much thoughts on it because the fight got announced during the show. You could say Costa was 2025 Fighter of the Year. Phenomenal momentum going to this fight with Allen. Yeah, I thought you could have made a case for him being Fighter of the Year for sure. All right. So what we'll do now, before we head out of here, we got to see who needs help, Weezy.
Okay.
We got to see who needs help. And the first option. All right, let's go, YouTube. There we go. Okay, 196 votes. Holy crap. Last is Jeremy Stevens at 14%. Okay. 18% for Khamzat Chimaev. Okay. 31% for Jared Gordon. Okay. And then the person that needs help from UFC 328 is Joaquin Buckley, and I would tend to agree with that. And the people that steamed Joaquin Buckley to minus 260 also need all the help in the world. All right, Weezy. So last week it was, it was an okay week. I mean, Gauthier was minus 1,000. He did go out there and pipe Osman Diaz. So that hit. The chat was right about that. The chat was wrong about this. The milking of the week was Khamzat Chimaev to milk Sean Strickland. It did initially look like in the first round it could end up being a milking, but Khamzat kind of stopped wrestling. I think he might have got hurt in the second round. Ended up being a striking fight the last 20 minutes, and Strickland got it done. So the milking was wrong, which is a shame because the chat was on a big streak there for a second. So it's time to get back on track. So what we're going to do is we're going to give 4 options. You pick 2, I pick 2. I have a feeling it's going to be tough, man, to find some options for this card. But you want to do the milking first or the piping first?
Let's do the piping first.
All right, so the piping of the week, like I said, last week we got a Teba Gauthier. This week, Weezy, what is one of your options for a potential piping?
Oh, easy. Malcolm Wellmaker to pipe poor Juan Diaz.
Site. All right. I'm picking I think 10 decisions, dude. So it's gonna be tough. And the finishes I'm picking are actually, I think, in the female fights. Oh God. Oh, you know what? Give me Ivan Erslon to pipe George Tokos.
Okay. Yeah, we're definitely doing an underdog piping. How about we attack that crystal chin of Andre Petroski and the ass fight IQ on top of that, and we'll go with Cody Brundage to pipe Andre Petroski on site. What do you think about that?
I actually like that a lot.
Yeah,
I
let's
love that.
go.
And then for the final piping, I think we can just kind of leave it at 3, to be honest.
That works.
Yeah, let's just leave it at 3. So for the first time in Stat Digger's history, there's only going to be 3 options.
We're setting records on Stat Diggers this week, you guys.
All right, there we go. So vote in the chat. Who is going to pipe their opponent on site? Malcolm Wellmaker, Ivan Erslon, Cody Brundage, or NA? Let's go. Let's go. Let's do it.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
love it if you gave him an NA. You gotta love it, man.
Nobody better vote for the NA either. All right. So while they do that, Weezy, let's do a milking. So for your first option, who you taking for a milking?
Okay, we didn't even really get to talk about the fight, but I mean, if I'm picking a milking, it's going to be Thomas Gant to milk. I don't know who Artur Minev is, but the thing about Gant is like people will say, "Oh, well, this guy Minev, I've heard he has good takedown defense." Well, yeah, you could stop one, but are you going to stop the 7th? Are you going to stop the 9th? Are you going to stop the 12th? You know, and those 12 takedown attempts are going to happen in the first minute. You're not getting this guy off of you. And you're taking the fight on short notice in a small cage against a guy who's just going to be, you're going to be wearing him like a cheap suit. So I like Gant. I still need to tape Minev, but I like Gant.
Yeah, people really seem to like this Minev guy. Really like him. So Thomas Gant, I'll go with my girl, Nicole Caliari, the girl that's getting steamed to the biggest favorite on the card.
All right, that makes sense. Okay. What? Oh, I think I got a good milking here. What about Ketlin Vieira to milk Jacqueline Cavalcanti? You know, because like this is a striker versus grappler match the way I see it, right? Because Jackie just hasn't shown us anything on the ground yet. She appears to be a pure striker against somebody in Ketlin who's shown a lot of takedowns and top time at this level.
Yeah, I mean, I think if she's gonna win, it's gonna be a milking, and then I'll go Alice Ardolene to milk that cost player, Polyana Viana.
There we go.
Yeah, I'll do that. Also think Petroski's very live for a milking. Brundage has been milked more times than you can count. Yeah, that's about it. See a couple milkings on this card. So we'll end this piping here, and it really wasn't even close. In 4th place was NA with 8%.
It got 8%.
Yes. In 3rd place is Ivan Erslon with 8% as well. 2nd place is Cody Brundage, and then 1st place is Malcolm Wellmaker. There we go.
And as a statistics major and the best math performer in the room right now, Brady, that tells us that 8% of our audience is pricks.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if you're voting for NA, you know, we know you're a prick.
There we go. So the piping of the week is Malcolm Wellmaker to pipe Juan Diaz on site. So let's do the milking poll. Who's going to milk their opponent? Ketlin Vieira, and yes, she has all the tools to milk. Alice Ardolene to milk that cosplayer. Nicole Caliari, and then who is your other one? Oh, Thomas Gant.
Yes.
Yari, and then the other milking is Thomas Gant. Here we go. All right, so while you guys vote for the milking there, we're going to touch on some underdog. So, Weezy, anything sticking out on underdog? Have you took a look yet?
Yeah, there's something I do like. I wanted to go with the lower on significant strikes for Juan Diaz because I could see him getting just absolutely smoked 30 seconds into this fight. So that one is Fight Night main card, significant strikes. It's going to be Juan Diaz, and it's 48.5 significant strikes is the number that they're expecting him to get over. I don't think he's going to get anywhere close to that number. I wouldn't be surprised to see him end with under 10 because Wellmaker might just sleep him early.
Okay. I'm sorry, I'm looking at it now. Bukovksas 38.5. Okay. Bannon. Okay. Oh God. I mean, Cavalcanti 64.5. If she gets taken down, that's gonna smash to the lower.
Yeah.
So okay, so that I'm liking the Cavalcanti lower than 64.5, but I'm gonna look at the takedowns here. Takedowns, Caliari 2.5, Costa 2.5 takedowns. I don't know if I love that. Tokos 2.5 takedowns, Petroski 1.5. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll do the Vieira or the Cavalcanti less on significant strikes, which is terrifying because the Vieira fights like a dumbass. That's soaring higher.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like Cavalcanti spends 88% of her time at distance striking range, where she's landing about 6 significant strikes per minute, and Ketland is absorbing a little over 5. But here's the thing. Ketland only spends 50% of her time at distance striking range. So if half the time spends in control time positions, that's 7.5 minutes where, Jacqueline lands almost no significant strikes. On average, she's probably landing maybe 10 over those 7.5 minutes, which means that the nut's a lot higher to cover if she doesn't have as much distance striking time here.
Yeah, so I'll go with that. All right, who's going to be the milking? And let's take a look. So in fourth place is Ketland Vieira at 7%. In third place is Thomas Gant at 20%. At second place is Nicole Caliari at 33%. In first place is Alice Ardolene at 40%. So Alice Ardolene at 40% there will be the milking of the week. Got to bounce back because last week it was Hamzat, and that did not work out too well.
It was close. He still could have maybe got that nod.
Yeah, I thought they were going to give it to him. Mm-hmm. To milk Pollyanna, Viana this Saturday. All right, there we have it. We did it. Record time, Wheezy, 2 hours and 17 minutes. There we go. Let the people know where they can find you. If you have anything, any special guest appearances or extra content for this fire card.
I fucking hope not.
Oh.
God damn, if I promise somebody to do extra content this week, know that I'm going to cancel on your ass. I am tired. No, I didn't. I don't have any other extra content other than the content I do for my Odds Shopper probability stats and content package subscribers. I'll do a full card breakdown on Wednesday night. I'll do a full card prop betting show on Thursday. I'll show up for the YouTube crowd on Thursday night to do a full card breakdown. And there is even a chance, Brady, that I will do a main event breakdown on my YouTube channel after I get some dinner here in my stomach. I've got a full fight right up for the main event here, and I could do a breakdown on that fight and then send out my stats and write up for that fight to people that want to watch that on YouTube. So you can find me on YouTube at Uncle Wheezy. You can find me on Rumble at Uncle Wheezy. You can find me on X at MMA Wheezy. And the best way to support my work is to check out that probability stats and content package on oddshopper.com. That gets you access to all my stats, fight write-ups, track bets, Discord, and all the subscriber content that I do every week.
There we go. Check them out. Ardolene could do some milking. Oh, yeah, she can do some milking for sure. I wish NA was available for the milking. Yeah, NA, he's pretty good, man. Whoever's fighting Bannon is going to milk. Yeah, Bannon's going to get milked, man. Caliari should milk her. Thanks, Diaz. Guys, I like the early start time. Didn't used to be 6 when it was on Sunday anyway. Wouldn't be mad if it was always this time. The only problem is we're competing with Clint, and we're live at the same time as Clint, which I don't like doing that. And Clint and John, I'm going to watch it tomorrow. They apparently went long on this card. How long was his podcast?
Was it Stargarian?
Yeah, they went 2.5 hours, so they were going live during us for a while. So I'll check them out tomorrow. That's why we don't go early. We don't want to go live at the same time as Clint.
Yeah,
because we don't do that. And then maybe we do go back to Sunday in the future. We'll see. But anyway, best of luck, everybody, for UFC Vegas 117. We will talk to you guys soon. Smash a like on your way out, subscribe on your way out, and see you guys later. Peace.
Are we still on?
Yeah.